Miami. An Odyssey Sports Station. The home of Joe Rose with Hollywood, Tobin and Leroy, and Hot Crowder and Solana. South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us, Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Marlins fell 9-1 to the Twins. They're in Tampa tonight to play the Rays. 7-10. Jensen Junk gets the start. The NFL schedule has been released. Games of note for the Dolphins. Week 1, August 13th at the Raiders. Home opener Week 3, August 27th against the Chiefs. And Mike McDaniel and the Chargers come to town December 27th. No primetime games. Game 6 between the Cavs and the Pistons tonight at 7. And then at 9 o'clock, you get Spurs Timberwolves Game 6. Golden Knights advance past the Ducks 5-1 last night in hockey. Montreal Canadiens are up 3-2 in their series against Sabres 6-3. No hockey games tonight. Weather Report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Replacing roofs, roof repair, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Should be a pretty clear day, although temperatures in the high 80s. I am Dan Day. Time now for the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome in here on WQAM. I am Hollywood. Omar Kelly is with us. Dan Day is with us. Jamie is out there with us. Omar, good morning. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing this morning?
Good. Dan, good morning in there, my friend. How we doing on this Friday here? Big weekend ahead.
Yeah, no, I've been spending the past, 8 hours breaking down the Dolphins' schedule, trying to get my wins, my losses, who's going to be playing, who's not going to be playing. It's been exciting times. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So Dan hosts the post-game show for the Dolphins here on the station, which there could be a few losses in there. Dan, looking at that schedule, Omar Kelly, who covers the Dolphins for the Miami Herald. Omar, your Sundays look like they're booked for the through the NFL season here, as the Dolphins will play. I guess everything will be on a Sunday for the Dolphins here.
Everything will be on a Sunday. There will be no night games.
For now.
For now.
Oh, they're not. I don't think their Dolphins are getting flexed anytime soon.
I'm being optimistic. Come on. Now's the time.
We did not get any Thursday night game. And not only that, but I'm going to need my North Face jacket quite a bit this year, more than likely.
Well, that's okay because the North Face makes a hell of a jacket, and I'm sure you'll be nice and warm wherever it is you're going in that nice climate control press box that they have for you at all those stadiums. So I got to tell you, though, Omar, those videos yesterday, some of them good, some of them not as good. For me, the two that really stood out, and I didn't watch, over 30 of them, but the Titans one I thought was very funny where they go around finding people that look like, people from the teams they're about to play. I thought that one was funny, but the Cowboys one was outstanding. I mean, the Cowboys put together, like, that could have been an SNL sketch. Like, that thing was that good. I don't know if you saw that one, Omar.
I did not see that one.
Dan, did you happen to see that one by any chance? If you didn't see it, you got to go back. Like, that one was genuinely funny. They took some wicked shots at some players. Like, they played at Jacksonville. They called Jacksonville Poor Orlando. Like, just to give you a little taste of, like, what that video was like. Yeah, it was really funny.
Jacksonville is more like rich Orlando, I think. Jacksonville, they got money over there. They got money over there.
I think the point was a joke. I mean, the joke landed. I mean, for me, I just thought a lot of that stuff was funny, and that to me was the funniest.
I got to check.
Videos I saw. The Dolphins video was fine.
I enjoyed the Dolphins video.
In there. Yeah, it was good.
I mean, while it had nothing to do with the schedule, the whole point of these videos are to entertain me and make it interesting.
Correct.
And the Dolphins concept, which was quite unique and original, was Mr. Ross showing up to the facility, everybody greeting Mr. Ross, and then Mr. Ross calling some important players into into his office for a sit down. and and players are getting all nervous that Mr. Ross is calling them in, and they go into the room and they see Boss Ross, not Boss Ross in terms of Stephen Ross. They see Rick Ross, the boss.
It's great. It's fine. It's it was fine.
It's South Florida, baby.
It wasn't the other videos, but those were like the Cowboys one. Looks, you got to watch this one. Looks like it was like I don't know. They got a film, like a whole like a movie crew or something to put that thing together. It was really well done, and some of them I also some of the other ones are funny. I watched the Eagles one that they put out, and that one was like 15 minutes long. It was really long. So it's Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and there's a few other players, and they basically bring them in and they sit around a table and they have envelopes on the table and they're opening them up week by week and looking at, and it's like an natural reaction to who they're playing. And I thought that one was pretty cool. Texas reminds me, yes, the Chargers video was really good. They did a Halo video. And the Chargers. Well, if you don't like Halo, I could understand why you didn't like that one. And yes, the Kirk Cousins and Mendoza one as stepbrothers, fantastic. I mean,
no,
really, that
I
one was
thought
really
the acting
good.
was poor. I got it. The acting was quite mediocre. And then not only that, but I like the Falcons one. They did like a ripoff of Sports Center's commercials from back in the day.
Oh, they should have just filmed one in the ER or the operating room or something at Falcons quarterbacks.
Jeez, Dan.
Yeah,
the swipe there at 6:07 a.m. I love it.
Easy. That's an easy one right there.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the Falcons video was that it was like a continuous loop of 30-second commercials, which is, and it didn't really sew them all together. But did you catch on the Halo video, they made a reference to Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel?
Did they?
Did you catch that?
That I didn't catch. I watched a bunch of them all kind of like back to back to back, but
they were talking about the Patriots game, and then they put up an email came through. It was an email from the New York Post. And if you get it, the New York Post was the first that put out the pictures of Rossini and Mike Vrabel. So it was just a subtle jab.
Jab at the Dolphins in that video was not as subtle, by the way. They had the Dolphins driving around a tank. So that jab was not as subtle. That one was that was a pretty rough shot. They took at the old Dolphins there, but
hey man, that shot could have been made at the Arizona Cardinals. Could have been made at the what other teams didn't get a night game? I mean, didn't get a national televised game.
There were a handful. I saw Tennessee didn't get one.
Yeah, the bad teams didn't get one.
Yeah, well, so that's usually how it goes. The Mendoza video was very funny though.
The Raiders, the Dolphins, video. Raiders, Titans, Jets, and Cardinals. They all 5 did not get a nationally televised game. And if we think about it really hard, those are the teams that'll probably be competing for the top spot in the 2027 draft, unless things go absolutely impossibly right for the Miami Dolphins, and that could happen. That could happen. Who knows?
We got so Patriots Seahawks will kick things off, a little Super Bowl rematch there. You got that. And Omar, I don't know if there was anything else that really stood out to you, but again, some of those videos yesterday were funny. The schedule is set, and we'll take a look as we continue to go through the show. We'll look at this Dolphins schedule, and we'll see where things stand. Omar, obviously, it's it's so early with this Dolphins team, and nobody really knows, I think, too much what they're going to look like until we can get into camp and really start to see what these guys are able to put together. Dolphins will head to Vegas to open up the season. They'll actually start both of the first 2 weeks on the road, so you'll be out west, Omar, to to start this thing off here. But
I will be out west.
You get Vegas and San Fran. So will you stay out west the
I
entire
will.
time there? Is that basically what you will do?
We will figure it out. Yes, I will. We'll figure it out how they're going to do it. I think they're going to fly into Vegas and on that Saturday, and then probably stay out in California, play the game, and then probably head out to California and work there for the entire week, or maybe stay in Vegas and for the entire week. But yeah, we're pretty much we knew they were gonna, the NFL, when they send you out west, they generally send you out west, and if you got two west games, they put them together, and that's just beneficial for organizations, and teams actually like that experience because it does create a bonding experience. Remember the Miami Dolphins last year in training camp that we went to Chicago, and then we stayed up in the Chicago area and went to Detroit, and I think it was like 10-day stretch. Joint practices in Chicago, the exhibition game, then you spend a week in Detroit, and that's supposedly a bonding experience for players and teams. Obviously, the bonding didn't pan out for the Dolphins. The Tyreek Hill bowling was not as beneficial for team bonding as they had hoped. The Tyreek Hill's in his bowling event. Did you also notice that there was a team that did a Simpsons?
I did, and it was the Colts.
It was a Colts, and they put on the board because I
saw that. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, they put on when Bart was writing his lines over and over again. I will not. What was it that they said? Something about Tyreek Hill. Oh, okay. We will not include Tyreek Hill in these videos. Because I believe the Colts got in trouble last year for taking a shot at Tyreek Hill. And
I thought a lot of that stuff was very creative yesterday, Omar. I thought a lot of those teams did a really nice job with those videos. Curious what people thought of the Dolphins video. You can certainly text us 305-567-0560. We got our YouTube chat going.
Have the owner in it, baby. Boss.
Yeah, again, there were a lot of creative videos that were put out, and the Dolphins, like, their video didn't do anything for me. I wouldn't say it was terrible. Like someone on here said it was terrible. I wouldn't say it was terrible. It didn't have really much to it. It just was, it was Rick Ross instead of Stephen Ross. And like, Omar seemed to be pretty amused by it. So that's good.
Listen, I loved that Rick Ross showed the picture of him being on the all-day team, Miami Herald all-day team when he was a Chief. By the way, I went to school with Rick Ross.
I did not know you went to school with Rick Ross. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you went to school in Carroll City. You've been mentioning it every day that I mentioned the Dolphins training facility.
Because I'm a proud Chief.
I know you are.
Product of my environment, sir.
And
in fact, when we have Larry Bluestein on today, Larry Bluestein is going to tell you why the Chiefs are the new powerhouse in South Florida.
All right, I will be listening when Larry tells us. Oh, we are going to have Larry Bluestein. Thank you for promoting, Omar. Blue will join us in the 7:00 hour in the show today. There's a lot of recruiting stuff going on out there that I want to discuss with Blue. We'll ask him about this Hurricanes class, and the other thing that Blue does so well, he does he handles the other schools in the States. So yeah, I know people do have interest in some of the other programs around town.
I want to check on Brian Hartline. I want to see what kind of inroads
I know Blue had
it.
Hartline on his show this week. So yeah, we'll ask him. We'll ask about the other schools around the state as well. We know Miami continues to clean up down there in Coral Gables. I mean, they got it rolling. But what do the other programs have? I know Florida's got themselves a new coach. Florida State can't afford to fire their coach, but they probably would have if they could have. So we'll talk to Blue. We're also going to have Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald, your coworker, Omar.
Yes.
We'll talk some NBA. 2 great games tonight. Very, very intriguing basketball games coming up this evening. You got the Spurs and the Wolves in the late game, the Cavs and the Pistons in the early game. And if anyone has some sort of read on these series, can you please help me? Because I'd like to bet on these tonight, Omar, but I do not know who to take anymore. I just don't know in these things. The Pistons, they had that last game wrapped up. They, choked all over themselves down the stretch of that one. Does Cleveland just blow them out tonight? Do they force a game 7? And then do the Wolves have anything left in the tank here, or do the Spurs, just put it on them again here and finish that one? So this very, very intriguing series there. And if anyone has a better read on those than I do, Dan, do you have any sort of read on either one of those, like who you're picking tonight? This is a tough one, man.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where you kind of try to differentiate between your heart and your wallet. You want someone to win, but is your wallet really agreeing with your heart? I mean, that could go either way, but oh man, it's tough.
Detroit hasn't been good for so long, though, too, right?
Detroit seems like they're so inexperienced and immature. Yeah. That's the only reason I don't give them the chance. And if Victor Wembanyama decides to show up to be the best player in the world tonight, then you can cut lights out, because I don't know if Anthony Edwards can hold these walls together, hold the walls up by himself anymore. Julius Randle's been a no-show, 12, 12, 12, and 17 in this series. Julius Randle, come on, man, help your guy out a little bit. But also see where, with Anthony Edwards and Minnesota's experience, they could win tonight. So I will go, because I don't want to give you a no answer. I'm going to go Cavs win and Spurs win. Both close out tonight.
All right, so you're taking the favorites in these two, the home teams. We got the NBA tonight. The Marlins are going to be up the road in Tampa Bay. We just call it Tampa Bay for now. They'll be in Tampa. They'll actually be in St. Pete at the Trop to play the Rays. 7:10 start tonight. You can catch that game here on WQAM. Saturday is 4:10. Sunday is 12:15, and then Miami will come home for some good divisional matchups here. You got Atlanta and then the Mets next week. So a good stretch at home. 7 straight, coming up for the Marlins. So go all the way Monday straight through Sunday before heading north of the border to Toronto and then Inter Miami. Dan is going to the game. Dan's all excited. He tells me this morning he's going out to the game. Inter Miami will be at New Stadium on Sunday. So, Dan, I know you're excited for that one. That should be always an entertaining.
Have you been to the new stadium before, Dan? No. So this is going to be your maiden voyage. Interesting.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple. First of all, Inter Miami is looking for their first win at the new stadium, because it's all been ties or losses. Ugh. I'm getting there really early, so I'm not worried about the traffic, and I'm not worried about the parking because of media parking. I am worried about leaving, with everybody pretty much leaving at the same time.
You got to do like what the old man does, like that, and you got to leave early, man. You got to leave before the game ends. That's me now, like that. I always used to wonder why my dad was always trying to leave games early. I do that now too. I monitor the scores of these games, Omar, and if there's anything I can do to make my way out of these things early,
how did your son
I'm all
feel
about it.
Never seeing a game finish.
Well, they do sometimes. The game's got to be close. Like, it's got to be a good finish. And like we went to the Panther game the end of the year, and it was close. And that game was close.
Yeah. Tell us the best story.
We were waiting right up by the exit, though. When they got that empty net goal, and we made a run for it, man. There's nothing worse than getting stuck in those parking lots.
Best story, though. Your son will never know about the Monday Night Football game against the Tennessee Titans.
We did leave that game early.
The
downfall game, the downfall of the Dolphins. We did leave that game early. Hey, man, that game was as locked away as you're ever going to get. That thing was
that was probably the undoing of this regime.
And probably that was where
that was the day the seeds came apart.
Yeah. Yep, that's where this thing started to.
You win that game, you win the AFC East.
Yeah.
In your defense, Danny, you did leave the holiday party the day after that early too, so you were consistent both days.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. All right, we got plenty of stuff to get to here this morning. Bonnie Bernstein is also going to join us. I know that name sounds familiar for all of our girl dads out there who are driving their daughters to school. She's got a pretty cool new show that's going to be coming out. So I want to bring her on this morning, and we'll do something that we don't always do here, Omar, but we'll have Bonnie Bernstein, Emmy-winning sportscaster, come on with us here this morning. She is the creator, host, and executive producer of the new ABC series, The Champion's Edge. So we will have her on, and talk some women's sports with her. And who else do we have today, Omar? I
Larry
mentioned Anthony
Bluestein,
Chang, Larry
Anthony
Bluestein, and
Chang.
Mike Florio. Mike Florio on a Friday, Omar. I know you love nothing more than
Yeah.
getting your hands on that interview and getting a chance to ask Mike some questions. I know you go on with him a lot. What do you think will be top of mind here for Mike outside of these schedule release videos? And maybe I know we always like to talk Aaron Rodgers with him. Aaron Rodgers, they took a few shots at him last night. I saw one of the teams put up the Steelers on there, and they had like a picture of Aaron Rodgers with a big question mark. So nobody knows if Aaron Rodgers will be playing, Omar. But
I feel like I didn't do my homework because I didn't watch all 32 videos. Like right now in this commercial break, I got to watch this Dallas video.
you're not going to make it through, but you could try. I don't know how. I think it was like 9 minutes long. That one was a long one, but it is very, very funny. That to me was the best of all of them. So if you want to take a peek at that one, you can do that. Let us know which ones you liked. We're on the YouTube chat here this morning, our YouTube channel at 1043 WQAM. We are on the text 305-567-0560. We do have some Marlins tickets that we will give away, and we have a busy show here on a Friday. A lot of stuff that we want to talk about here this morning. So if you'd like to join us, you can. Omar Kelly is with us. Dan Day is with us. I'm Hollywood. We will take a pause. More to come on this Friday morning here on QAM.
Tell you what is not new.
South Florida teams. We've got them
right here on the Q, baby.
Catch us on FM 104.3 or listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Don't miss a thing.
Liveliness. I'll put some positiveness, keep you lively. Sure.
Lively up yourself.
Welcome back in here on QAM. I was just talking to Jamie, our video producer here on the show, and told me he's going to Tropicana Field tonight to watch the Rays and the Marlins. I hope I didn't just burst this bubble. Tropicana Field is the worst stadium on planet Earth. I haven't been to every stadium, but I can't imagine a place being just a worse overall experience than Tropicana Field. That place absolutely sucks. But enjoy yourself tonight, Jamie. Have a nice time out there. Maybe you can hit Burns or, for a little pregame dinner or a late night dinner, whatever, maybe Burns. There's some nice places around there in the Tampa area. But yeah, Tropicana Field, my God, that place. Omar, we played, my school played in a bowl game. It was like the first time they had ever played a bowl game, and it was sponsored. I remember this game. It was sponsored by Magic Jack. Do you remember what a Magic Jack is?
No, I don't know what a Magic Jack is.
Magic Jack was like a $50 little thing you'd plug, like a USB thing you'd plug into the back of your desktop computer, and it would turn it into like a home phone, and you'd have like a landline phone through your computer.
Yes.
Just a giant piece of crap, and it was perfect for that stadium. So they turned it into a football stadium. They've done this at Lone Depot Park, except for the Rays stadium. Their field is like this AstroTurf type stuff or whatever, filled with ground up tire, ground up.
Yeah. Most
rubber.
most of these stadium fields are filled with ground up tires.
So we were walking on the field before the game. We're doing it for student radio. We're walking on the field before the game, and I just remember all of us being like, how the hell are they going to play a football game on this thing? Like, someone's going to get killed on this thing. Sure enough, our top wide receiver blew out his knee on the first play of the game. But that was, man, what a just a total dump Tropicana Field is. So, Jamie, enjoy yourself out there. You said his first trip to the Trop. I'll let you know how it goes.
I've heard that the seating, the angles, you'll have to sit and look sideways because the seats aren't facing the field. They're facing.
It's so dumb. It's not big enough to be a baseball stadium because the ball hits the stupid catwalk all the time. It bounces off the thing. I don't know if is it in play when it hits I don't even know what the rules are at that place. But yeah, it's what a horrible place. Enjoy yourself though, Jamie. You should have a great night out there in St. Pete. Dan's, you've been up to St. Pete. There are a lot of cool things to do up there. Tropicana Field's not one of them, but it is a good area. Went to school in that area.
I'm a little disappointed that we're not going to Tampa for the exhibition season. I
didn't even see that, Omar. Where are we going for the exhibition season? I was more focused on the regular season. Is Tampa coming here?
No, we are.
So we don't get Tampa at all?
Nope. We are going to Washington to face the Commanders on the road. Then we're going to the Giants and Atlanta Falcons. Hosting the Giants and hosting the Atlanta Falcons. So,
oh man, so no Bane matchup then. Oh, okay, there's a preseason.
They
snuck in on the bottom.
They didn't want any smoke, so obviously we threw in the Giants into the.
Oh, is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, for our fans just joining us here this morning, we got the Raiders and the Niners to start. Both of those games on the road. Both of those will be 4:25 starts locally. So 1 o'clockers out there out west. The Chiefs are the home opener. That should be a lot of fun, by the way. Chiefs for the home opener on Sunday, September 27th.
It'll
be fun to watch Mahomes. The result might not be fun, Dan.
Mahomes might not be ready by then. That's what I'm thinking.
No, they got him participating in OTAs right now. He'll be
ready for week one.
He'll be ready for week one.
Nobody heals like Patrick Mahomes. Nobody. I've never. Omar, what was it? The championship game, right? He gets the high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
And then plays 2 weeks later in the Super Bowl and is completely fine. Those high ankle sprains, they usually keep guys out for months. This guy just he doesn't get he heals. It's superhuman.
Remember he had a knee issue and they're like, oh, but he's double jointed, so it's okay. He's just going to use the other joint.
Yeah, he dislocated his knee. It was on a QB sneak. Remember that? But yeah, I assume he'll be ready to roll. Come
the one that there were a
here.
lot of disappointing things about the Dolphins schedule, and I actually wrote a column about that in the Miami Herald. I think the Dolphins got hosed from a schedule standpoint. The first thing is you've only got 2 1 p.m. home games before November arrives. As we all know here in South Florida, by the time it gets to November, the sweltering heat, muggy humidity is pretty much gone, subsided. So the Dolphins only get 2 of those. And then we get to the road games. Do you know that 5 of the 9 road games that you're playing this year are going to be in cold weather environments where there's potentially snow? They couldn't even give Miami the Indianapolis Colts road game during the cold or snowy season. Send us to a dome environment. No. We got New England to end the season. Yeah, that sucks. Then we got Green Bay on December 29th. That's gonna
December
suck.
20th. December 20th.
December 20th. That's gonna suck. You got the Denver Broncos. I actually am pretty happy that game is a December 6th because snow. I might be able to take myself snowboarding or skiing. Buffalo on November 22nd. Man, I need that Buffalo road game in September or October. If you don't do it, then I'll be guaranteed I'm going to have to be digging out my car from snow or de-icing my windshield. It is a horrible experience to go to Buffalo when it's snowing. That's clearly on my horizon again. And then it's not really a cold game to worry about, but October 25th at the Jets. It'll be all right.
I just want to let you know this morning, Omar, that I don't feel bad for you having to travel to any of these great locations to watch NFL football.
I was waiting for the breakdown of the game, and Omar's breaking down his personal life.
He's so concerned.
No.
You take an Uber when you get to these places. Don't worry about digging out your car in the snow. Take an Uber. But yeah, you are right. By the way, they do have a couple of cold games down the stretch. Denver. Green Bay, New England being the cold. Well, what else is going to be cold? Oh, yeah. You got Buffalo in November, and that's it. So you have Buffalo in November,
Denver, Green Bay.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, man. It's cold. It's cold most parts of the country from like September on, so or October on, or whatever. It's cold, man. That's just how it is. I hope it's cold in New York in October. I hope you freeze your ass off at that game too. And you know what? It'll be cold in Indy. I know that they play indoors, but I hope that you freeze your basketballs off there too. So now I wish for nothing but cold for you, Omar. That's my wish for you, is that you get the coldest possible. I hope it's like an Arctic blast. Or is that what they call those storms, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
The Arctic blast. I hope you get hit by one of those every single time you go to a road game.
You're not my friend. And then cold.
I'll go in your place if you want. My writing might be very sloppy, but I will go in your place if you'd like.
Yeah.
I'll write at probably write at a third grade level, but
you could take that Green Bay trip for me.
It's just
so I will say this
backwards.
Now I have asked my buddy. I told you I have a good friend. My best friend from school lives in Wisconsin, lives in Milwaukee. And I would like to go to a game at Lambeau at some point. I know that he will not go to a late December game. And it's probably a smart thing because I went to a late December game. The Bears and Packers usually play each other in the last week of the season. I went, my wife's family is all from Chicago. They have Bears tickets. And we went like 10 years ago. We went to a Bears game, Bears Packers. It was like late December.
Mm-hmm. Right on that.
I've never experienced that level of cold in my life. Yep. That was genuinely uncomfortable. It was, and the breeze that comes off that lake over there,
lake effect winds. It's a real thing.
Now that was truly bone chilling cold. Like that was a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, I'm probably not going to sit on the meadow bleachers in Green Bay in late December. Like
that's the thing. And that's exactly what it is. I don't know if I've ever been colder than I was. Was it this Thanksgiving I was in Green Bay?
Or 2 Thanksgivings?
Yeah, it was
2 Thanksgivings ago.
Well, what about the Kansas City playoff game? That was the coldest one.
I didn't make that trip, but yeah, that was
probably for the best because people were they were losing arms and legs and all sorts of stuff from that game. But look, the Dolphins schedule looks interesting. The guy says, Texas says if we lose the Raiders game, we could conceivably start 0-6. And, look, Omar, I look at this schedule and, I guess the Dolphins will be, pick 'em type
1, 2,
game
3,
against the Raiders
4,
like
5.
that.
No way, not 0-6.
Well, let's look at it, Omar. They're going to be underdogs against San Francisco. They'll be underdogs for sure against Kansas City. They'll be road dogs against Minnesota. Probably be home dogs against Cincinnati. Might be, a pick'em game against the Jets on the road. They'll be huge dogs against New England, huge dogs against Detroit, Indy, Buffalo. Dolphins are, Omar, as it sits right now,
what team?
Dolphins are in the conversation for the worst team in football. Now that could change. I don't know how this thing's going to shake out. The Dolphins could surprise a lot of people. Who the hell knows? But as it sits here today, and you look at the power rankings and what people that do this for a living think of the Dolphins, they don't think much.
I never, ever concern myself with strength of schedule. I think it's hogwash. You don't know what a team is going to look like by the time you play them. Some team, and I said this in a column that I wrote about the schedule, some team's going to lose their starting quarterback before we even kick off the season. We don't know which team it's going to be, but it happens just about every year. Now, mind you, you never know how a team's going to be, whether they're going to lose their top defensive player to an ACL injury or to a back injury. So the complexity of a team, you never know. And you also don't know who's going to develop for your team. Malik Willis might be a slaying dragons this season. We don't know this. You might have a rookie come in here like Chris Chambers did or Jarvis Landry did and just tear up the landscape. Hell, De'Von Achane might be the best player in the NFL this year.
So you're saying maybe come December 20th, that Green Bay game could get flexed with the storyline and maybe the Dolphins playing better than people expected?
Yeah, that was the one game I actually thought they put it early. Maybe we throw it on a Thursday night. The Malik Willis's return, him taking on Jordan Love to see who is really the best Green Bay Packers quarterback. Nah, the NFL said, nah, screw you, Dolphins. Back to the end of the season. We're going to hide you at 1 p.m. games, except when you're playing at home.
Omar, I am perfectly fine with 1 o'clock.
I like 1 o'clock games too.
Now, one thing that is interesting about this schedule is the Dolphins have very limited games where you're going to get that true home field advantage, right?
Yep.
The early in the season, the two that stand out, you got the Chiefs on September 27th. You got the Bengals on October 11th. So you might get warm weather games for that one. But then your next home game between October 11th, Omar, you go all the way to November the 1st when you get New England and Detroit in back-to-back weeks. It could be warmer then, who knows what the weather is going to be like, but that was, November, you're probably starting to cool off a little and lose that.
Yeah, November that, you've lived here long enough in South Florida. We've got like 4 months where the weather's great.
It'll be warm, but it
November,
won't be
December, January, and February. Like that's our great weather months. So it's not going to be a challenge to any opponent. Unlike those 1 p.m. September kickoffs in the heat and humidity with the shade of Hard Rock Stadium covering the Dolphins, but cooking you like you're in an air fryer on the other sideline. I feel bad.
They said, you know what, Omar? They said we saw Josh Allen melting out there last year.
They did. The NFL.
We're going to put the Buffalo Bills as late as possible in Miami, so they don't go through that again. So the Bills are the home finale on January the 3rd. Their video is very weird. I don't know if you saw.
Oh yeah.
Their video is a little strange. Every team will mark a win against the Dolphins, trying to figure out their records. Yes, I agree with that, Texter. The Dolphins are one of those teams where you check a win. And, I know there are a lot of people doing that today, Omar. I'm not a big fan of the, let's go through the schedule.
Win, loss,
because I would put loss for everything at the moment other than New York and Vegas.
That's what I was going to say. As a Dolphins fan, if you come out of week 2 1-1, you're being optimistic. I hate to say it. I mean, I'm being
yeah,
honest.
you're right. You're right. Like there are only 3 games on this schedule that the Jets are not a slam dunk. Like nothing's a slam dunk right now for the Dolphins. But if
3
you were
games?
doing that whole, like if
What's
you were
the third
trying to be
game?
realistic, Omar, and do this win-loss thing, and we do have to take a pause here. We got a bunch of stuff coming up in the 7 o'clock hour.
You're talking about here.
We'll get to your win-loss thing, Omar. You give us your
I don't do
Dolphins
that.
record when we come back here on QAM.
I do know this. Your South Florida Chevy dealers have never looked better than they do right now. Boy, we got some great
Radio or TuneIn apps.
Wow, that was so easy.
All of our shows are there live or on demand. Plus, there's the cool rewind feature where you can listen to any part of any show you might have missed. Anytime.
All right, welcome back in here on this Friday on QAM. Hope everyone has some good plans here for the weekend. I got a card show tomorrow, Dan. The Cooper City Card Show. That's where I will be tomorrow.
Are you attending or are you working?
I'm just attending. I'm just attending this one. We're setting up. We're getting ready. My sons and I, we're going to set up at the Hobby Card Show, the big one at the Broward Convention Center in August. We will have more details on that to come, but
I guess
that is where we will be setting up.
You'll have some friendly fire there because Doug Plagans, I'm sure, our great Panthers play-by-play announcer, will probably be there.
Doug Plagans is so big into the card thing. He is a fellow card nerd. We'll have to bring Doug on closer to that. We'll talk some cards with him. I am curious what he's into these days. Now, a lot of people are into this stuff, Dan, and I know we talk a lot about it on the show, the memorabilia and the cards, and it has become quite the business out there. So if you're into it, cool. If you're not, maybe we can get you into it, right? We speaking of getting you into it, Dan, we got some guests coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour. For all of our girl dads out there, Bonnie Bernstein is going to join us. I know everyone knows that name. She is the producer of a new ABC series, The Champion's Edge, and so a lot of stuff with women in sports on her new program. So we figured we would do that for our girl dads. Omar is a girl dad.
I am, and I have some
Omar,
specific questions for her too.
I'm sure you do. So we wanted to do that. We talk a lot about the sons on the show, so we wanted to get the daughters involved. So we'll have Bonnie Bernstein join us at 7:20. Larry Bluestein will join us at 7:40 this morning. And Blue is obviously one of our favorites here on the show, and we'll talk some recruiting with Blue and go around the state a little bit. Blue gets out to these different schools throughout the summer. So we will check in with Larry Bluestein. Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald will join us at 8:20 this morning, and we will talk some heat with him. Maybe he's got a better read on these NBA games tonight than I do, Dan, because I'm just going to be this is one of those where you just kind of bet for fun, right? There's nothing, no scientific thing behind these games, man. I have absolutely no clue who's going to win these. Like, there's a part of me that thinks like the Pistons will sack up tonight and find a way to get this one and bring it back home. I could also see the Cavs beating them by 50 and them just being completely deflated after blowing game 5. And I could basically see the same thing with the late game, right? I don't know, man. Wemby and the Spurs seem really tough, but Anthony Edwards and those guys have continued to battle back. And I don't know. I don't know how these games are going to go. So maybe Anthony's got a better read on it than I do. And of course, Mike Florio will join us as he always does on Friday. So we will talk to our friend Mike Florio as well. So we have a lot of stuff lined up for you on this Friday. Very glad to have you along here with us this morning. We'll give away some Marlins tickets too as we continue on as well. So we have a lot more to come. Again, really glad to have you along here with us. I'm Hollywood. Omar Kelly is here. Dan Day is here, in the 7 o'clock hour is next on QAM.
But right now I want to talk to you about some other things, like
In Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the two-time World Series winner, Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. The NFL schedule release was last night. Some games to note for Dolphins. Week 1, August 13th at the Raiders. Home opener, Week 3, August 27th with the Chiefs. Plus, Mike McDaniel and the Chargers come to town December 27th. No primetime games. Marlins, they're back in action against the rival Rays in Tampa Bay. Tonight, 7:10, Jansen Junk gets the start. Tonight at 7, Game 6 between the Cavs and the Pistons, with Cleveland up 3-2 in that series. Then at 9 o'clock, Spurs Timberwolves, Game 6, San Antonio looking to close out. Tonight, 6, you get another big-time game from nobody in the NHL, but tomorrow you get 2 games in the NHL playoffs, as you get tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, you get a closeout game for the Montreal Canadiens against the Buffalo Sabres, and Inter Miami look to get their first win at New Stadium 6 o'clock Sunday against the Portland Timbers. Weather brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, replacing roofs, roof repairs, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Today, for the most part, clear. A little break from the rain. Next week, though, pretty much rain in the forecast every day. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Happy Friday. Welcome back in here on QAM. Hope everyone's had a nice week here. Hollywood, Omar Kelly, along with you. That's Dan Day on the update. What do you say, weather next week not looking so hot, Dan? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's supposed to be high chances of rain, at least at some part throughout the day, every single day. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
All right. Tonight's an indoor night for me. I think we're staying in. We're going to watch GOAT. Have you heard of GOAT? I'd say a cartoon GOAT that plays basketball. Steph Curry, I think, is the GOAT. In the movie, so
it's a movie. Okay,
that's the plan for tonight. Yeah, it's on Netflix. So
pizza?
We're gonna
is it
watch
Pizza
that. Friday? We might. We might. We're up in the Broward area. We're in Cooper City. We got to start. We're gonna find some pizza joints up there. I haven't really been anywhere yet, to be honest. So we have not found a pizza place. So maybe we'll start looking for one of those tonight. Meanwhile, the Dolphins schedule has been released. It was a night of comedy, to be quite honest. Some of those videos last night were fantastic. I thought the Cowboys one, if you have not watched the Cowboys video, it was really, really funny. Like, that was about as good a comedy bit as you will see on like SNL or, Chappelle Show or something like that. That thing was like genuinely funny and well made. The Titans one was also funny, where they go through the street and try to find people that look like the different players. The Raiders put out a video with Mendoza and Cousins as the stepbrothers from the Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movie, which was very, very funny as well.
I like the Colts collaboration with the Simpsons.
Yeah, that one was good. So there was a lot of good stuff out there last night. Omar Kelly is back with us as the Dolphins schedule has been released. Omar, you look at this schedule. And again, look, I don't know what the realistic expectations are for the Dolphins. I don't know if they're going to win 2 or 3 games. They're going to win 6 or 7 games, or they're going to stun us and win 10 or 11 games. I don't know what they're going to do, Omar.
I think every NFL team is built to win 5 games, unless you're really trying not to.
Well, I wouldn't say the Dolphins are trying not to. I just don't know. Like, if you look at the schedule right now, let's be realistic, and you look at the schedule right now, the Dolphins will be favored in 2 games, possibly, maybe 1.
Probably at home against the Jets, and I would struggle to find the other game. Maybe on the road against the Jets, but I would struggle to find the other game that you said. You said 3 in the last break, and I thought to myself,
well, the only ones I could imagine, I mean, there's certainly a world where the Jets are a worse team than you are, right? Like there is a world where that possibility exists.
Unless Geno Smith has a reclamation season. And truth be told, I think the body of work that Geno Smith has put together has far exceeded what Malik Willis has done. So right now it would be irresponsible for Dolphin fans to say that they have a superior quarterback to what the Jets have.
So Hard Rock has the Dolphins at 4.5. That's the consensus here. It seems like for the Dolphins, over under at 4.5.
Yeah.
And
I put
I
good money
do
on 5.
think that you think they'll win 5.
5
is plus money here, plus 100 if you think so.
I think every team, would I put money on them winning 5? Probably not. Not until I see the product on the field first. I get to that opportunity to see the product on the field Tuesday. It'll be my first opportunity to see Malik Willis actually play football with the Miami Dolphins jersey on, and throw the Miami Dolphins weapons. But to me, there are two major things with a healthy roster that stand in the way of the Dolphins having a productive season. How good is Malik Willis at running traditional offense and being effective on critical downs, third downs, red zone, and can this Dolphins team stop the run? And last year, there were only 6 teams worse than Miami at stopping the run. We blamed a lot of that on the rookie defensive linemen. Now they're no longer rookies, but we've probably gotten worse when it comes to edge setting. And somebody is going to have to step up. The Dolphins claimed a former Packers practice squad player yesterday. And I have to add him to the list of possible saviors for this team. Because I can't see anybody.
His resume. Tell me his resume real quick.
He hasn't played
lack thereof.
Listen, he hasn't played in the NFL game, but how does that exceed what Max Llewellyn or Mason Rager or David Ojobu have achieved? It doesn't.
Our savior is a guy who's been in the league for 2 years and never seen an NFL roster.
I said I'm adding him to the list of possible savior. You got to find somebody to stop the edge, to set the edge, to stop the run. You don't set the edge, you don't stop the run. Like linebackers are being steamrolled down the field. You don't set the edge. And right now, unless you're playing Zach Sealer on the edge, and somebody steps forward like David Ojobu, I can't tell you how they're going to do it. They allowed 4.8 yards per carry last year and 132 rushing yards. And that defensive front probably got worse. So, because you tell me who's setting the edge. Chop Robinson? Are we putting on a cape on Chop this season?
Well, maybe he will improve, Omar. You never know, man.
Absolutely.
You never know. Like that's why we're going to play the games. And at the very least, like this season to me has some significant intrigue for a couple of reasons, right? Like I think there's storyline of Proctor, right? The Proctor storyline is going to be very interesting to watch.
What storyline is that? Is that there's going to be a 6'7", 350-pound left side of the right of the offensive line?
Well, the storyline is, and since you do write for the Herald, maybe you can steal my thought here, but not that this is an original thought. I feel like we've discussed this, but Bain being in Tampa, they passed on him. Yeah. Proctor being your guy.
Bain's a good edge setter, by the way.
I'm sure he is, Omar.
I know, and that happens to be the thing that you can't.
Proctor needs to be able to play right away. I mean, he needs to be able to play, and he needs to be good.
Jonah could play right away last year too.
No, this guy needs to be good, Omar. Like he needs to be really
be
good because the Dolphins passed up on 2 players that may end up being very good.
Yeah.
So he needs to be good. So that's one storyline. But to me, the best storyline on this team is Malik Willis. Like I'm genuinely excited to see a new quarterback here with the Dolphins that has a lot of unknowns. Yeah. Right? Like it's going to be very interesting to see him in week 1 because I don't care what they do in the preseason. They're obviously not going to show a whole lot in the preseason, but I am so intrigued to see what this looks like with Malik Willis in week 1.
I should watch Malik Willis's preseason games. I haven't done that. I should probably do that.
I don't think you need to watch any of his stuff though, Omar. Like, and I'm being honest with you, like I don't know that any of it means anything because this is going to look completely different.
You're right, Danny. It's total 180. I was talking last night at Duffy's Plantation. One of our listeners, Paul, I was like, you couldn't get 2 more opposites. Malik Willis, mobile, strong arm, Tua has more experience. Malik Willis has no experience. These are like total opposites, like you said, different direction and quarterback, which is exciting and scary at the same time.
One's strengths is one's weakness, and vice versa. But I think you have more upside with Malik Willis just from this standpoint. Let's hope he's more durable. And he's got an arm now. Tua lost that arm, and there was no turning. In my opinion, there was no turning back.
Lost that arm thing. I by the way, I don't buy any of that. Like, I don't know where you get that from. And we're
I get it from I get it from coaches who actually had to game plan for him.
I don't care.
And,
we'll see.
And
we'll
flat
see
out told me that Tua can't throw the ball 40 yards.
Yeah.
So
how old is Tua? What is he? 20 something? He's in late 20s. Yeah. He's in his late 20s.
Somebody made a great point.
His arm didn't die, Omar. Like, I don't know where.
No, his arm died.
From.
His arm actually did die. So
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I strongly dislike Tua. I think I've been on record with that.
So why couldn't he throw the ball with velocity?
I don't know that he ever could.
Yes, he could. Stop it. Don't do
so
that.
We'll see in Atlanta, though, Omar. We will see in Atlanta, but I don't believe that Tua his arm just gave up on him in his 20s. Like, I don't know how that could happen.
One of my colleagues, DJ Bienemy, who actually is a Dolphin fan, he's a closet Dolphin fan, who happens to cover the Houston Texans for ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said something that I'd never thought about. It was the Houston game of 2024. That was the turning point for Tua, because remember, he suffered that second hip injury.
Mm-hmm.
He played after that, but then he had to shut down the season because of hip complications that apparently were impacting his throwing ability and maybe his movement ability. Remember, they basically said he couldn't play. It would have challenged him. And if we think about it, he was never the same quarterback after that. He came back to the 2025 season, and Tua just looked completely different. He even in the first month of the season, he acknowledged and admitted that he couldn't move anymore. And then we get to, I think the breaking point was the Washington game for me in Spain, where it was a completely different Tua that I was looking at. And yes, he beat New Orleans after that. They beat the Jets after that, but it just wasn't the same quarterback in terms of couldn't move, couldn't throw the ball 25 yards downfield, could not throw the ball deep. And it got to the point where opposing coaches who game planned for Tua basically said, we don't have to have our cornerbacks play man because it benefits us to face Tua. So when the ball is getting out there slowly and wobbling, we can jump them. They were able to, quote unquote, jump his balls, pause. And they never had their safeties move past 40 yards downfield because Tua could not move the ball. So the field was contracted from a defensive standpoint. And the Dolphins eventually got to the point where they realized they couldn't run a hurry-up offense with Tua because teams were contracting the field. So that led to his benching when the quarterback who Troy Aikman.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Yeah, when Troy Aikman on air basically questioned Mike McDaniel, who was hired as a consultant at that point for Steve Ross, basically came out and said, what the hell are they doing? Why
he wasn't hired by the Dolphins at that point?
Yes, he was. He was hired by the Dolphins at that point, sir. Yes.
During that game?
Yeah, we just didn't know about it.
We just didn't know about it, but he was hired. He was employed by the Dolphins at that point. We just did not know about it.
Well,
and he flat out criticized Mike McDaniel for the fact that they're losing so bad and they're not running a hurry-up offense. What are they doing?
Omar, the good news is Tua is no longer our problem, and we don't have to have this lovely debate anymore. We have some guests coming up, thankfully, so we don't have to talk about damn Tua anymore. Mike Florio will join us later in the show. We will get into all the NFL stuff with him. Bonnie Bernstein is going to join us coming up next for all of our girl dads out there. She's got a new show, and then Larry Bluestein. We're going to talk some high school football, some college football, recruiting, all that stuff that we do here with Larry Bluestein on Fridays. Blue is going to join us here, a little off-season special with our boy Blue. All right, we will take a pause. Bonnie Bernstein will join us next on QAM.
I do know this. Your South Florida Chevy dealers have never looked better than they do right now. Boy, we got some great 2026.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Reach like
More traffic on the roadways this morning. Traveling in Miami-Dade. The traffic report is brought to you by the Casino at Dania Beach. Slow moving 95 Express southbound from Miami Gardens Drive to Florida's Turnpike. Also Broward County. Slow moving on Florida's Turnpike and northbound from Northwest 27th Avenue to before mile marker 50. That's traffic. Amelia Escobar on FM 104.3. And you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
This report is brought to you by the Casino at Dania Beach. Come rock with Quiet Riot at Stage 954 May 30th. The Casino at Dania Beach has it all. Enjoy new exciting promotions, the hottest slots, great shows, multiple dining options, live poker, and simulcast. Plus, new members can win up to $5,000 in free play. Join the fun at the Casino at Dania Beach.
We've got plenty of ways for you to listen to your favorite shows and favorite teams on WQAM.
How is that, if I may ask?
We're at FM 104.3, or you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Check it out now.
Welcome back in here on WQAM. Happy Friday to everyone out there. Hollywood, Omar Kelly, Dan Day along here with you. We're going to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Toyota of Hollywood.com, where we are joined by Bonnie Bernstein, the creator, host, executive producer of the new ABC series, The Champion's Edge. Bonnie, thank you for the time. It's great to have you on the show. How are you?
Happy Friday, Danny and Omar. How are you?
We are great. We are great. And Bonnie, it's great to have you on the show because we got a lot of girl dads that are driving their young girls to school now. And I know that you have done a lot of work here with your new show and getting women involved in sports. And you have some great guests on this show. If we could just start off, if you would tell us a little bit about your new series here.
Yes. Good morning to all the girl dads and girl moms who are driving to work, dropping the kids off, doing the Uber duty this morning. This show is really for you. It is a series that profiles extraordinary women who are thriving in every industry imaginable. And their common link is that they played sports. Your next question will be, how did you come up with this idea? So I'll beat you to the punch. It's actually a research-based show. So I had seen a lot of data over the last several years making this connection between sports participation and career success. And the stat we love to hang our hat on, because, we're all about stats in the sports world, 94% of all female C-suite executives played sports, with more than half of those women playing in college. So your CEOs, COOs, CFOs, this also applies to female founders of companies. And I was so fascinated by that because I'm an athlete myself. I multi-sport athlete growing up, but I did gymnastics at college at the University of Maryland. And the number was so eye-popping to me. I immediately went to figure out, okay, where are the stories? Where are the stories that bring the data to life? And there wasn't a platform that was really dedicated to that. And so that's how The Champion's Edge on ABC was born.
Bonnie, I happen to be a girl dad, and I have a 5-year-old who she started out doing dance and basically is losing her interest in dance, but I still want her to remain active. What are some of my better options to just get her get her feet wet from a sports standpoint at that age?
Yeah, well, Omar, I'm really glad we're bringing it up because our first episode was with Ginger Z, the ABC and Good Morning News, Good Morning America chief meteorologist. And she was a multi-sport athlete, but the sport she leaned into most was competitive cheer. And so we got into the discussion about one of the biggest challenges she faced growing up was garnering respect for being a cheerleader. She was actually named most athletic, I think in 8th grade, or I think that's right, in 8th grade. And she would have the kids saying, well, you can't be most athletic, you're a cheerleader. And one of the core messages that we want to be able to get across by not only showcasing women who are like, doctors, lawyers, women on Wall Street, women in technology, is broadening the definition of sports. We think of stick and ball, and I did gymnastics, so it's not a stick and ball. But the things that young ladies learn in competitive cheer and competitive dance are the very same things we learn in every other team sport. They learn about teamwork. They learn about leadership. They learn about discipline and having to manage your time and how to set goals and how to be confident. And so if your daughter is leaning away from dance, Omar, the first thing I would recommend is cheer. But more than anything, just giving her opportunities to experiment. You know, Florida is a hotbed for athletes. There is more talent in Florida. Maybe California and Texas are the two other states. But we're seeing this trend, and I'm sure there are lots of parents listening who have kids, and they're going through the whole discussion. Okay, do they remain multi-sport athletes, or are we going to focus on a single sport? Yeah. And Omar, I think at the end of the day, the more opportunity you can give your kids to experiment and leave them in that multi-sport phase until you feel they're really, really ready to dive into one sport, just the better it is for your child.
When do you know it's the right time to shift when they lost interest? Or, you know, because my major concern with my daughter is I think she thinks that if she doesn't go to dance practice, she's going to be able to stay home with her tablet, which that's not the case. And that happens to be this generation. We're basically saying you're going to do something. We just haven't figured out exactly what it is if you do give up dance. How do you get that balance of finding the right sport versus finding something that they'll enjoy?
One of the things I hear parents talk about a lot is just the approach. How are you approaching your child when it comes to sports? And what seems to be successful for a lot of people is repositioning it. Less as a sport and more as time with friends, because kids all love playing with their friends, right?
Okay.
So and it's an important discussion to have too, because again, when it comes to the specialization, at some point we see kids getting burnt out. And when we think about one of the most extraordinary things about sports is that it's fun and it's enriching their lives in lots of different ways. But we have to be mindful as parents about making sure it's still fun. And, you know, this show sort of has different levels of mission. Number one is providing this, if you see it, you can be it database of stories where any girl who wants to be anything can find somebody in their library who looks like who she hopes to look like at some point in their lives. But the other thing that we want to be able to do is tackle head on this dropout rate. So participation rates for girls is as high as it's ever been. But the dirty little secret we don't talk about enough is that they're also dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys, and typically by their early teens. Now, we can't fix everything. A lot of times it's cost. You know, if you've got a kid playing club sports, they're traveling, it can be cost prohibitive.
Absolutely.
But one of the biggest reasons that they drop out is they love the sport, but they realize, okay, I'm never going to be good enough to get a full ride to Miami or any of the Florida schools or anywhere, and I'm never going to play in the WNBA. I'm never going to play in the NWSL. And because sports is time consuming, they choose to do something else. And what we want to say to the girls and parents and coaches, because it really does take a village, right? Is like, okay, hold on, ladies. If you still love playing, don't just think about the here and now. Think about the long game. Stay and play with your friends. Continue having fun. Don't worry about getting the scholarship. Don't worry about the fact that you're not going to play pro. Think about how every single day you're on the field or on the court or whatever sport you're playing, cheer, dance, crew, whatever it is, you're continuing to glean and hone all of these life skills that when it's time for you to go out and get a job, it's going to give you a leg up. Because what do we know? Companies love hiring athletes because they know you hire an athlete, there's an increased likelihood that they're going to be a high performer.
Bonnie Bernstein here with us on QAM, the new ABC series, The Champion's Edge, also the Athlete Effect podcast. Bonnie, I did want to ask you, I know you're having WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert on your show, and the WNBA clearly has just blown up in popularity. What are your thoughts on Caitlin Clark and her impact on everything? I know that people seem to have differing thoughts on her, but it seems to me, from the outside looking in, that she has been a major boost for women's sports as a whole.
Caitlin, there is no doubt that Caitlin is a generational talent. Where I would encourage people to not get stuck just firmly going down that rabbit hole is to zoom out and look at all of the talent that has existed in the WNBA. Now, historically, and we're keeping it real here, there were two iterations of professional women's basketball that didn't pan out until the W came along. And part of the reason why it's been sustainable is because the NBA and David Stern at the time said, okay, we're going to take this over. And so all of the initial teams in the WNBA were in NBA markets, and they were sharing resources and really leaning on the NBA to ensure that the league stayed up and running. Fast forward, the W is now celebrating its 30th anniversary. Because of Title IX, we now have several generations of opportunities for girls to play sports, and the talent pool is deeper. So yes, Caitlin is a big reason. And quite frankly, the little sort of rivalry that developed in college between Caitlin and Angel Reese that really blew up during March Madness, which is when, women's basketball gets the most visibility, that played a role in it too. But there are other factors. And one of the big ones, two of the big ones would be, number one, sponsors are really leaning in to the WNBA and spending money with a different mindset. Not this is the nice thing to do, but because there's a business case. And when sponsors are spending more money in a league, then guess what happens? Media rights. Media platforms are willing to pay more money. And then it's kind of this whole snowball effect. So the valuations of the teams in the leagues are higher. Sponsors are paying more money. The talent is better. And so there are more people attending. There are more people watching. There are more people buying merch. And it really just is this rising tide lifts all ships thing where we are past, finally, the notion that women's sports thriving is not a moment, but it's a movement, and it's not going away.
All right, Bonnie, I just want to promote your show one more time, if we can, here before we let you run. The Champion's Edge on ABC, and you have your podcast out there as well. You let people know where they can find that.
Yes, the Champion's Edge is on ABC on weekends. You got to check local listings because each TV station has its ability to choose when it airs, but typically it's Saturday mornings. If you're not able to watch us on ABC or DVR, you'll be able to catch all of the full episodes on the YouTube page, which is Champions Edge TV. And then we're taking all of the full interviews from our TV guests as well as podcast-only guests. And those will be on the Athlete Effect podcast, which is on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcasts.
Awesome. Bonnie, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Great stuff.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. Bonnie Bernstein joining us here on QAM. We go from Bonnie Bernstein to Larry Bluestein, who will join us when we come back here. We'll talk some high school football, some recruiting, and get up to date on all the college programs here in the state of Florida. As we hit these summer months here, we'll get the Blues take on where everything stands in high school and college football when we come back here on QAM.
I'll tell you what else is a good scenario. Everybody going to Atlantic
games. Plus, you can use the rewind feature and listen to anything you missed. Go for it.
All right, welcome back in here on WQAM. We're going to head back out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale. One location, Toyota of Hollywood on 440 Wilmington, Hollywood, and Sheridan, ToyotaofHollywood.com, where we are joined by our good friend Larry Bluestein. Blue, how you doing? It's good to have you back here on a technically a football Friday here, a schedule release Friday. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing good. Busy. Went to Palm Beach last night. Been basically everywhere. Doing a lot of back and forth trips, Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, just to see some of the kids. It's spring football. It's kind of a weird spring football because, they some of the schools up in the northern and part of Florida, they start early. So their spring started early and they ended actually this week. And Dayton Broward and Palm Beach kind of like going till late next week. So it's got run into a lot of college coaches from all over. It's really a good time of year. You get a chance to see a lot of talent. And today I'll be back up in Palm Beach, and this weekend a couple of other games. And then next week, basically everybody either plays a game or has an inter-squad scrimmage. And I know Omar's happy. His Carroll City Chiefs are the talk of South Florida this spring.
Absolutely, Blue. I've been waiting a long time for this conversation. We are loading up my Chiefs. Toro Wallace. I'm not very familiar with him, but he's coming from Chaminade, where he's produced a lot of great talent. We've got Lee Prince Jr. We've got Nick Leary, Lanier. The University of Miami recruit. Tell me what I can expect. Is it possible to build a program like an NIL program where it's 1 year, you just get everybody in and you develop chemistry?
Well, if it is, they're doing it. So you mentioned some really, really good people, and not only that, Omar, they're tapping into Carroll City Chief royalty. You talk about Lee Prince and Freezy and the whole gang. They're all in. Lee's committed to West Virginia. Good little running back, does real well. We know Nick Lanier is expected to do big things. Remember, Nick is leaving a Northwestern team last year where he had some help. He had outstanding receiver who ended up going to Syracuse, and then he had another one at FAU. So this year he's going to kind of be, he's going to be the show, and we'll see. They're playing a scrimmage next Wednesday by themselves. They're not going to. I don't think they want to tip their hat, to what they have. It's like St. Thomas. They don't play a game in the spring. But they're going to be one of the teams to watch. They're definitely, they're a smaller school now. I know it's hard to hear that, but they're a 2A school. So it's, but that means they're in with Chaminade, where Coach came from and won 3 straight state titles, as a offensive coordinator, and they're in with Cardinal Newman, who's a defending state champion who upset Chaminade last year, and some other pretty good teams. But it's shaping up not only for Carroll City, but as I get a chance to look at some of the other programs, we know, what St. Thomas has done, guys, over the last 7 years is unreal. Winning 7 straight state titles. I mean, that's just total domination, and obviously West Boca Raton, because we have a lot of people who listen to us, and the kid Mallory, who went to Miami and had a really good spring, in his freshman year. He came out of there, but West Boca, suburb school, which is something that you don't see a lot of state championships, especially in South Florida, because it's, as well as I do, it's either inner city driven or it's a private school driven. But it's been a good spring, and we had an opportunity to see a lot of the kids that Miami's going to be getting, and it's just been a productive spring. Thank goodness. The weather, as my fingers are crossed, has been real good, because this is a time of year you usually have a lot of rain.
Blue, I want to go around the state if we can, because I know you've been traveling and you've been everywhere. You've been talking to coaches. Let's start down south here in Coral Gables and the University of Miami. We know that Mario is parlaying the success of the national championship appearance here into just more recruiting riches. But what can you tell us about how things are going from a recruiting standpoint at the U?
Well, you know what? When you win and when you have people from around the country, you become a global recruiting center, and that's what's happening with Miami. You know, you look at for their class of 2027 and the kid Dante Wright that they just got, a cornerback that they flipped, as they say, from Georgia. He's a Long Beach Poly kid. Israel Abrams, who's a quarterback, is out of Illinois. And then obviously you have Nick Lanier and you have Jalen Jones from MacArthur and Sean Tatum, a big offensive lineman, from John Carroll. They've done well. But, Omar, when you covered them, the big bitch, as they say, is, Miami doesn't do well recruiting South Florida. But, yeah, you know what? You can't have everybody. And even when they dominated, they didn't get Marvin Jones. They didn't get Derek Thomas. They didn't get Isaac Cruz. You know, it just happens. You know, it's, you get who you get, but I think they've kind of tipped in nationally to get some of the top talent. And they're right now, you go around and they're the talk. Everybody talks about Miami, which is a far cry from a couple of years ago when nobody talked much about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Blue, I don't want to ignore the other schools in our backyard here, FIU and FAU. Obviously both playing Division I ball, Blue. So what's are those schools essentially, like right now, are they trying to find guys out of the portal that they can bring in for a year? Are they still going the high school route and trying to develop some players who will probably end up leaving regardless? Like how are those schools approaching recruiting?
Combination of both, Danny, because of the fact that you look at FIU and Willie Simmons, great coach, great person. And what he's done is tapped into local coaches. All his coaches, Brian Pata and coaches like that. The Coach Pata, Coach Ponce, who was at Miami. So they've kind of done a lot of local recruiting, plus, as you mentioned, tapping into the portal, because obviously the portal is where it's at. You get a lot of experienced kids to come back. But no, he's done well. FAU, you know what? He's really good. He's done a great job in the short time he's been there. He's actually tapping into his Texas roots. And I went to see both of those teams in spring this year, their spring games at Texas Tech, influence with him. He coached Pat Mahomes a little bit when he was at Texas Tech. So he's got some great ties from Texas, got great receiving core, but he's also not leaving South Florida alone. He's kind of, utilizing that as well. I think both of those programs are on the upswing. FAU is in a different conference than they are now, but they both have that same objective.
All right, Blue, let's head up to I-4. And we got a couple of programs out there. You got UCF, who was a little quiet, I guess, last year. Do they have they retooled? What do we got going on in Orlando?
Yeah, they're kind of right now a little bit stagnant. They were doing construction last year, so they didn't have a lot of summer camps, which meant they didn't get a lot of kids on campus. But Coach Frost has done a good job. He's still trying to shake the trees locally, but the big thing that they have is they're a Power 4 school, and they get to go out and say, hey, you know what, we have. We play, Colorado, we play Kansas State, we play Arizona State, paid by BYU. And, so they have a good recruiting tool. They're in Orlando, which is not a bad place. And, I think that this is a big year for them, though, because, they have to at least make a bowl game. They can't have another 4 or 5 win season.
All right, across I-4, I know you're friends with Brian Hartline, Blue. I think a lot of people down here certainly like him. I've spent a lot of time with the Dolphins and a little time at Ohio State developing 50 different first-round wide receivers. But he is in Tampa now. What can we expect from that program at USF?
Yeah, Brian brings a lot of good pedigree with him. He's a great recruiter. He's a good teacher of wide receivers, as we know, at Ohio State. I think he's in a situation where, they've got everything positive going. They just, a couple of years ago, as you know, they opened up their new indoor. Next year, they're going to introduce their new football-only facility, which is going to be real nice. And then at the end of 27, they get their stadium on campus, which is a huge plus for them. It's kind of a model out of like Baylor and Houston, maybe 37,000, nothing, a million. But as you know, being a graduate, I mean, there are 58,000 students that go to that school. So it's a big school, but at the same time, it's kind of a commuter school. So it's the kids from dominate from, maybe an hour away that go to, on campus. But he's come in with the right philosophy. He's got a great coaching staff, and we're going to be going out to one of their summer camps coming up in a couple of weeks and, tell a lot more about them. But yeah, they've done a really, really good job at what they could do. They still need to get into that conference. They need to get in with UCF where, they're in Power 4, so they play a big time schedule, but at the same time, they can recruit at that level.
All right, Blue, let's head up to Gainesville. What are we talking about up there?
Probably the most impressive spring. Coach Sumner's done a great job. He's rallied everybody around. He's got the money people in order where they're spending money on the recruits, and which is something that they didn't do in the last regime. They have a really, really good young team, secondary wise, probably within the year or so, they could be one of the best in the SEC. He's done a really, really good job at recruiting. I can't say he hasn't. And, they're definitely on the upswing. If they could grab off 8 wins this year and set the table for the following year, they're in the SEC. I'm not going to skirt that. That's not an easy deal. And, every week is tough.
All right. And last and certainly least, the Florida State Seminoles, Blue. Mike Norvell is back. What do we got going on over there?
Yeah, still fighting an uphill climb.
Oh,
they
yeah.
haven't recruited very well, and their portal, has been not great. So this year's a big test for everybody. I mean, it's they have to rebound. I mean, they have to make the play. I mean, make the get a bowl game. I've said playoffs. They would be ecstatic with the playoff, but yeah, they're in the ACC. We see them every year, and certainly they're getting better. But are they at the level that Miami and Florida at? No, not yet, not right now. And hopefully they can return for a lot of the FSU fans who believe that those colors every year. But he's sticking in there. He's got some really good coaches. He hired, Tim Harris Jr. now is his right-hand man. He's OC, and he's worked, so at least he's got a recruiting pipeline to South Florida, which you need. Well, you need that so much.
Yeah, nobody has trouble picking transfer portal quarterbacks like the Seminoles do. They always pick the wrong guy. Pretty impressive.
So well that his last transfer quarterback, portal quarterback, is a wide receiver at Miami with the Dolphins now. So yeah, he's done well. He's done well.
All right, Blue. Thank you so much for the time. It's great to hear from you. I know you have your show here on WQAM. If you missed any of Blue's interviews through the last few months or so, I know, Blue, you had Heartline on this week. That's up on WQAM.com. So please make sure to go check out all of Larry Bluestein's interviews on our website. And Blue, we look forward to talking to you more throughout the summer. All right.
Yep, I'll be there. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, Omar. We'll see how your Chiefs do on Wednesday. I'll let you know.
All right, Blue, thank you for the time. Larry Bluestein here with us on WQAM. Again, check out all of Blue's interviews. He gets the best stuff right here on WQAM.com is where all of his interviews live. All right, we will take a pause. The 8 o'clock hour is coming up. We're going to talk to Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald, talk some Heat and NBA with him. And the schedule is out. The Dolphins schedule is out. We'll get some initial thoughts on that from Omar Kelly as well when we continue on here on QAM.
I do want to take a moment to tell you about
Crowder and Solana. South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. NFL schedules have been released. Dolphins going to open week 1 at the Las Vegas Raiders. That is August 13th. The Marlins are in Tampa Bay for a series. Starts today at 7:10. Jansen Junk gets the start for the Fish. Inter Miami look to get their first win at New Stadium Sunday at 6 when the Portland Timbers come to town. And Scotty Scheffler, one of 7 names atop the leaderboard at the PGA Championship in Pennsylvania. Play continues through Sunday. Weather brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, replacing roofs, roof repairs, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Enjoy the sun today. Mostly clear skies, temperature in the high 80s. Rain for the next couple of days after that. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Happy Friday. Welcome back in here on QAM. Thank you, Dan Day, on the update there. Boy, there's a lot going on, man. The schedule is officially out here for the Miami Dolphins. It's, I don't know, Dan. I guess not a ton of wins circled at the moment, but, you know, we're trying to remain positive here. Maybe they'll get that win, against Vegas in the opener.
Yeah.
And we'll start things off on the right foot there. We'll see. The home opener, you get Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at Hard Rock Stadium. Not so bad there on September the 27th.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like what would be the road game I'd want to go to and what would be the home game I want to go to. And I hate to say it, the first game against the Raiders would be the road game that I want to go to. Although Denver would be pretty cool too.
Denver would definitely be a cool trip. Early December there, it will be cold. You got Green Bay on the road on December 20th. Green Bay would have been the other trip I would have done. But
right, you want to go to Lambeau.
Late December is... those bleacher seats might be a little uncomfortable. December for us Floridians.
And getting up just to Green Bay is going to be a lot of issues from Milwaukee, which when I was living in Wisconsin, a lot of my friends that lived in Milwaukee had never been to Green Bay just because they said it was just too much of a gargantuan task to get up there, especially in the wintertime. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the trip is this year. Maybe Buffalo on November 22nd, and
New
they got
stadium.
a new stadium over there. But the home games, the Dolphins have great home games. They really do have great home games. Kansas City's the first one again on the 27th of September. Then you got Minnesota on the road. Then you got Cincinnati at home before your early little bye week there in week 6. So you got the first you got Vegas, San Fran, KC, Minnesota, Cincinnati. Then your bye. Then you got home games against New England and Detroit in there. You got the Bears are coming to town. The Chargers are coming to town, which that will be, I don't know how things will be going in late December for the Dolphins, but nevertheless, that will be an intriguing game because of the whole Mike McDaniel thing. And, I'm also very intrigued to see how Justin Herbert plays over there this year. He's got all sorts of offensive gurus, right? You got McDaniel, Gase, they're all over there. So that Chargers team is going to be very, very interesting to watch. The Bills get the break of coming to Miami in January. So they melted down here last year. I can't imagine it'll be too hot in January when the Bills come to town. But there you go. That's the schedule. You'll finish against New England on the road. So curious what our Dolphins fans think this morning. You can text us 305-567-0560. We do have our YouTube chat going on as well at 1043 WQAM is where you can reach us on there. So again, that is the schedule. We had the schedule release videos yesterday, which came out. Some were great. The Dolphins one was fine. It was okay. Rick Ross did the video. Certainly wasn't one of the funny ones. There were a few ones that were like the Titans one was very funny, where they go up to people on the streets and compare them to people from the teams that they're playing. I thought that was pretty funny. The Vegas one was really good with Mendoza and Kirk Cousins as the stepbrothers. That one I thought was very funny because that's an interesting situation up there, right? You never know how these relationships are going to go, right? Kirk Cousins comes in. He obviously wants to play. Mendoza's the first overall pick, obviously wants to play. But those guys, and I know the video means nothing, but it does seem like they do like each other.
Right, and they've leaned into it kind of.
Yeah. It seems like they do like each other over there.
It seems like Fernando Mendoza is the type of guy that doesn't give you a lot of problems in the locker room. So he's got a good attitude and good head on his shoulder.
Yeah, he seems to be a pretty easygoing dude.
Christopher Columbus High guy.
Yeah, so he's over there in Vegas. So I don't know who we'll see in week 1. My guess is we're going to see Kirk Cousins. That would just be my guess, but we'll see how that goes in their training camp. My favorite of the videos yesterday, by far and away, was the Cowboys. The Cowboys put together a fantastic video. This thing was worthy of being on Saturday Night Live. It was that funny. It was really, really good. If you have not seen that one, they take some vicious shots at some of the other cities, some of the other players. Like there are some serious shots taken in that one. Maybe my favorite is where they called Jacksonville poor Orlando. I thought that was pretty funny. But that video is my favorite of the ones that I watched yesterday. And I also enjoyed the Eagles video where they got Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and a few other players together, and they just stuck them at a table. And it's a long video. It's like 15 minutes long. And they just put all their games and sealed envelopes on the table. They opened them and kind of went week by week. And you got to see their actual reaction to seeing the schedule. And one of the things I thought was really interesting about that video, Dan, was they were actually actively complaining about the turnaround times with some of these games. And they had to travel. I want to say it was London, I think is the game that they're playing in. And then they have a game the next week, which was on a short week. And they had another one where they play on a Saturday and then a Thursday.
They have a Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys.
They do. So I think it went Saturday, Thursday or Thursday, Saturday, something like that. And the guys are like, wow, this is a quick turnaround. They actually were complaining about it, which I found very interesting because I think, look, the NFL clearly does not, they care about one thing, and that's money. And they're not about player safety. I don't hear any of that player safety nonsense. They care about money. They've stuck it to the fans year in and year out, and they will do whatever it takes to make sure that they generate all that money overseas. And that's what they continue to do here. The texter says NFL messed with Finn's home field advantage early in season. Not many 1 o'clock kickoffs. The Dolphins have been getting screwed, it seems like, with those for a while, right? I can't remember the last. The Dolphins have not had a very advantageous early season schedule. Kansas City comes down here. Kansas City would probably have to again not get off the bus for the Dolphins to have a chance to win that game. And then Cincinnati comes down here. I think you'll be able to at least hang with Cincinnati. That's in October. But your next home game after October 11th is not until November the 1st when the Patriots come to town. That's a 4:25 game. So, Dan, you're not really, unless, Detroit is a 1 o'clock game, but that's November 8th. I don't know how the weather will be in November, but it probably will not be as rough as it is in September and October. So the texter's right. You don't get a lot of that advantage there. 540 says been a Fins fan for 50 years, not the least bit excited for the season to start. You know what? I am more excited for this season than I was last season. I will tell you that. That's not even
crap.
Oh, hello, Omar. Omar just dropped his daughter off at school. Welcome back. I didn't even see you pop up there. You scared me. Omar, I am much more excited for this season than I was for last season because I knew where last season was going.
You did not.
I don't buy. No. I don't buy the Joe and Bo Hope. I don't buy the crap that they were selling in the offseason.
You had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
I don't care who you had.
You had Darren Waller.
I knew where that season was heading, and I was not jumping up and down really excited because, look, you have to go by the results. I did not think that the team had gotten better than they were the year before. They clearly didn't get better. So there was only one more direction to go. The season ends with a note from Stephen Ross that, everyone's coming back. It didn't have a good vibe to me. And I know that there's some hope salesmen out there, yourself included, who tried
Are you calling me a hope salesman? I am thoroughly offended.
You were the leader of the Tua fan club. I don't know if maybe they were too mean to you or something, but nevertheless, Omar, I was not excited about last season.
The leader of the Tua fan club pissed Tua off in the season opener saying to him that he throws turnovers in bunches. Can I have some objectivity here?
But at least this season, though, Omar, there's some unknown. Like, I don't know how good Malik Willis is going to be. I knew going into last season that the Dolphins were going to be mediocre. That wasn't some sort of like secret. We knew we were just trying to get through one more year so we could fire Chris and fire Mike. Like, that was not a fun season. That was a season where it's like, all right, I know that I have to waste another year of my life as a Dolphin fan.
What are you doing now? What are you doing this year?
Well,
you're wasting another year.
I don't know what I'm doing now. That's the beauty of it. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
No.
Maybe these guys
looked at the schedule and said they might be favored to win one game.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're doing now.
But at least there's some unknown. There's like, hey, do these guys know what the F they're doing? Did these guys draft competently? Did these guys know what they're looking at with Malik Willis? Did they screw up the Proctor pick? Is he going to end up being like there is some like there's unknown. Like at least there's unknown and there's some
uncertainty.
There's maybe a light at the end of the tunnel. Last season,
you were predicted to win
last
one
season
game.
You were driving into
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Last season, the end of the tunnel was a brick wall, and you were going full speed into it, and that's where you got to. You hit that thing head on, and the car exploded or the train exploded, and now you're here.
Well, this is a 20-foot wall that you have no idea how you're even going to climb because
that's great. But that's great. I like having no idea. I like not
Dan,
knowing.
You got to weigh in here. That do you see the disconnect here between what he's saying and
I think
reality?
Dan knows that last season was a dead end and it was a complete waste of time. And at least this season, there's some unknown aspects to things here to see. Hey, can these guys draft? Can they construct a team? Do they know what they're doing? Can they evaluate the quarterback position?
Is Jeff Hafley going to run a good defense?
A lot of question marks, man.
So that's what Danny's doing. It's not.
What does his offense look like?
I'm not selling people that they're going to win games. They're probably going to suck, but at least there's something to watch. At least I don't have to watch. At least I don't have to watch Tua run around and I don't have to watch Tua run around in circles and throw to the other team. Like at least there's something to watch for.
Listen, the Tua disrespect and hatred, I think, has gone a little far because let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. If Malik Willis at any point produces 100 passer rating, will you be happy? Will you be elated?
I don't care. I'm not going to look at his numbers. I don't care what his numbers are.
Okay. So if Malik Willis leads the NFL in passer rating,
I don't care.
Completion percentage.
I know that
or
I
yards
don't care. And I know that I know that you're just rattling off Tua's numbers because you've had so far stuck up his ass. That's what you have to do. But I don't want to hear about numbers anymore. Numbers are irrelevant. They're completely irrelevant because they lie, Omar. They lie just like you are right now. They lie. You know what the problem was. Okay.
What was the problem?
After for losers, and you're loser number one, like this guy says here, Omar. He didn't say you're loser number one. I'm saying that.
Tell me what the problem was. You know what the problem was from my standpoint?
Toxic writers around the team. All right, we gotta get to Anthony Chang. We're gonna change the subject here. We got a couple of great games tonight in the NBA. We'll see if Anthony can make some sense of these here tonight because I have no idea. I don't know, man. Do the Wolves find a way? Do the Pistons find a way to keep these series going, or do the home teams? One home team in the Cavs. Do they find a way to get this one and end this thing? So Omar, we'll continue the Dolphins discussion though as we continue on through the show, but we'll shift gears. We'll talk some hoops when we come back here on QAM.
I do want to take a second to let you know, man, May
Home for the best price on luxury. Now featuring the all-new Lexus TX.
Just $9.98 a pound. Argentina-style thin sausage, $5 a pound. Or buy 2 and save even more. Now open in Homestead. Find a location near you at wildforkfoods.com.
Your favorite shows. The games of your favorite South Florida teams. We've got them.
Right here on the Q, baby.
Catch us on FM 104.3 or listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Don't miss a thing.
Happy Friday. Welcome back in here on WQAM. Hollywood Omar Kelly, Dan Day along with you. We're going to head back out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale. One location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com, where we are joined by Anthony Chang. He is the Miami Heat reporter for the Miami Herald. Anthony, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're great. We are great, and we have spent a lot of time this week trying to figure out how the Heat can get a deal done for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know you have recently written about this in the Miami Herald, when the timeline could be for this, how this deal could work. What are your thoughts here as far as, first off, can the Heat get a deal done with Giannis and perhaps not include Bam?
I think it's possible. I think it's going to depend on what the rest of the trade landscape looks like, right? It's going to depend on the competition the Heat has for Giannis, obviously. Right? Like, what does Orlando do with their coaching change? They were said to be interested in Giannis at the trade deadline. Do they make an offer and possibly offer him Paolo? Like, that changes things. What does Houston do? What if the Knicks lose in the Eastern Conference Finals? Do they aggressively try to pursue Giannis? I mean, those are all huge factors. But yeah, I think the Heat have an intriguing, is it an incredible package for Giannis? No, but it's a good combination of young players. When you talk about Kalel, Jaime, just all the young guys having their roster they could include in a trade, plus the picks. Now they have 3 picks they can include when you talk about making a pick for Milwaukee this year. That's a 3rd pick now you could offer to Milwaukee. So you have a pretty good combination of young players, with high upside, like Kalel, and 3 first-round picks, a good amount, for a player like Giannis. So we'll see, right? I mean, there are teams out there that could offer more if they wanted to, but the question is how interested are they going to be in trading for a 31-year-old Giannis who has some injuries lately? And what will Giannis want to do, right? Because he's kind of on an expiring contract. He has a player option next year. Is he going to dictate? Is he going to try to force his way to one team? That would obviously help the Heat if he says, I want to go to Miami. So there's a lot of factors at play, and we're just going to have to see how it plays out.
Anthony, you're around the team every day. I know that you see the fan reaction. I know people are kind of things have gotten a little stale with this team, right? How do they feel about it over there in downtown Miami at the Kaseya Center and those front offices? Are they kind of, the same boat where they feel like we need to mix this thing up? Like, if it's not Giannis, it has to be someone else. Like, this is not going to be a run it back situation that they try to sugarcoat as like, and last year was like, oh, we got rid of the Jimmy Butler cloud and now everything's good. And like, they do need to shake things up, right? I think everyone's in agreement.
I think they obviously know they need to get better, right? I mean, 4 straight play-in tournament appearances, 2 straight years in 10th place in the East. How could you argue against that? They need to get better. They need to upgrade the roster. But I'm not going to say they won't run it back, because we've done this before, right? In the offseason, we're like, there's no way they're going to bring back this core, and they do. They don't believe in making change just to shake things up. They wanted to translate to an upgrade in talent. So I don't think they're just going to make a lot of move. Especially, look, if they don't get Giannis this offseason or another star, they're trying to preserve their cap space for 2027. I know fans don't want to hear that because we talked about 2026 with cap space, and I get that.
Yeah, we're getting older.
Pat, exactly, I know. Yeah, Pat made that clear. Like Pat Riley made that clear that 2027 cap space, they like that flexibility. I don't think they're going to make a trade just to get incrementally better. That's gonna take away cap space in 2027. So they're going to go after Giannis. They're going to go after any other star who becomes available. Donovan Mitchell doesn't sign his extension, and he's available. They're going to have Donovan Mitchell. Any star that you see come on the market, they're going to go after. But if they don't get any of those guys, I would not be surprised if they wait until 2027 and keep that flexibility. So I think they know they need to upgrade the roster, but they're not going to just make a change to make a change when it's not going to make them significantly better.
Anthony, let me ask you about this whole perception that Bam is untouchable. And I know that's something that Pat Riley says. When you basically want to improve somebody's market, you basically say they're untouchable. Do you think that the Bucks would be interested in a deal, or if inclusion of Bam would sweeten the deal? And would you include Bam if it meant you got Giannis?
That's a good question, Omar. You're good at this. You're good at this asking question stuff. I think I don't think they're offering Bam. I'd be very shocked if they offer Bam for Giannis. So I think that's pretty much a non-starter. I don't think they're going to do that.
It's not about the offer. It should be about what the Bucks want. And if I'm the Bucks, I would want Bam.
Of course. But if the Heat, I mean, this was a conversation years ago when the Heat tried to get Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz, and the Jazz says, well, we'll do it, but you have to include Bam. And you're like, no. And then that went nowhere, obviously. And I think it would kind of be the same thing. If the Bucks are going to be like, well, we're not doing it unless you include Bam, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
I think it's over. Yeah. I mean, is Bam, look, I laugh at the term untouchable because nobody is truly untouchable, right? Like everybody has price, even the best players in the league. If you offer 10 first-round picks and 2 All-Stars for Wemby, I mean, Spurs might consider it, right? And same thing for Bam. Like Pat said, if you offer Wembanyama and 8 first-round picks, they're probably trading Bam. So there's a price, but I don't think they're going to trade Bam for Giannis, especially at Giannis's age and the injury concerns. What does that really do, right? Like, what are you really doing if you just have Giannis and, a bunch of young guys around him? You're pretty much the Bucks of Miami. So I think it's a non-starter. I don't think Bam is going to be in any potential trade for Giannis.
I also think Riley doesn't get up there and posture and try to improve a guy's value by saying he's not going to trade. I think Riley is telling the truth. I don't think he plays games. I truly believe he does not want to trade Bam Adebayo and won't trade Bam Adebayo, right?
Right. I agree. No, I agree. I think they truly see Bam as, yes, he's never made an All-NBA team, and I get that. And I know some people laugh at to say he's untouchable, but he's kind of the face of the franchise right now, and I think it's going to take probably a top 5, top 10 player for the Heat to even consider trading Bam. And a top 5, top 10 player in his prime, right in his prime. Not, a 31 going to turn 32 in a few months, and it's coming off a bunch of calf injuries and hasn't played, has missed a bunch of time lately. So I think it would take a all NBA talent in his prime for the Heat to even consider trading Bam. I just don't see it. I think Bam, we know the Heat, right? They always like to have one guy on the roster, whether it's Dwayne Wade or Udonis Haslem, that's kind of just been there for the entire time and is the leader. He's the captain.
Culture setter.
He kind of sets the tone for everything. Culture, exactly. And Bam is that. And he's a very good player. He's one of the best defenders in the league. I would argue he's top 3 probably defensive players in the league, and offensively, he scored 82 points, right? I'm not saying he's the best offensive player in the NBA, but he averages 20 points a game consistently. So he's he's above average offensive player. So, I think he's a top 20, top 25 player in the league. So, I don't think for Giannis, he won't be part of that conversation.
I want to ask you about another superstar. Obviously, his light doesn't shine as brightly now, but I still have some belief that the Heat, who have been great at reclamation projects over the last 20 years, can get a Ja Morant and transform him and get him on the straight and narrow and maximize that player. Do you think that they have a level of interest in Ja still?
I can only say what I'm talking to people around the trade deadline in February when that was a possibility. The level of interest at that point was very low. They weren't interested. They really didn't even aggressively pursue Ja Morant, which is kind of surprising because, like you said, Omar, they have a history of these reclamation projects and kind of, buying low and turning that, helping turn that player's career around. He has obviously has a lot of talent, but they were not that interested at that point. Not only because the off the court stuff, but also they like, he's defensively, right? He's a smaller guard. They already have that on the roster. How is that going to work? He's not a good shooter. So I think there was some concerns about fit as well. I'm not saying maybe that changes in the offseason. I don't know. I haven't heard one way or the other, but I know around the trade deadline when that was a possibility, there was not much interest there.
Anthony, I want to ask you about LeBron James, and we know that he does these one-year deals, so he's available. Our texter here, Bob, yesterday suggested that Dwayne Wade come out of retirement, bring LeBron back to Miami, and go for one more run. Do you believe that LeBron either retires, stays in L.A., or goes somewhere else?
It's another good question. I think he stays in LA. But I think if he goes anywhere, this is just my guess. This is just me, guessing.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland makes sense, right? Just to kind of tie the bow on the entire Hall of Fame legendary career. Going back home, going to the, I know he's played for 3 different teams now, but the team that he's going to forever be associated with is Cleveland, right? He got drafted by there. He's from there. He won that historic title for Cleveland there. So I think going back to Cleveland would make sense. But if not, I kind of think he just stays in LA.
And then we got a couple of games tonight that I want to get your thoughts on. I'm having a tough time picking these games here this evening. We got the Cavs and the Pistons. Cleveland up 3-2 in that series. Detroit melts down late. Do they have what it takes to go and win this game tonight on the road at Cleveland with the Cavs trying to close this thing out? Do we get a James Harden clunker in this game here, and the Pistons bring it back for a game 7? How do you see that one shaking out?
I think Cleveland wins, but both these teams are flawed, right? I think this series kind of shows you like what Pat Riley and the rest of the front office kind of is signaling to everybody of like, we feel like if we can get Giannis, even though maybe we don't match up with OKC and San Antonio, this East, it's a wide open East, right? We've seen that this series. I know the Knicks have looked very good. Even the Knicks, they're not OKC. But yeah, I think I would pick Cleveland at home. I think they have the better overall roster, especially when we don't know what Duncan Robinson's status, but he's important for Detroit, right? In this last game, he's their best 3-point shooter. He helps space the floor. They really don't have a lot of 3-point shooting on that team. So if Duncan Robinson can't go, especially, I think Cleveland ends it tonight.
And then how about the Wolves? Do they have a shot here against the Spurs? San Antonio is tough. And I'll tell you that series against OKC, that wouldn't be I don't think that would be another sweep for the Thunder, I'll put it that way. But can they close this thing out tonight in Minnesota?
I'm never going to go against Anthony Edwards. I love Anthony Edwards. He's my favorite player to watch in the league. But yeah, I mean, San Antonio's, they're great overall. The team, Wemby, how could you pick against Wemby, right? But I think that's going to be a very competitive game. Obviously in Minnesota, I would not be surprised if Minnesota wins and forces the game 7. But at the end of the day, Wemby's greatness, it might just be too much to overcome. So we'll see. I think that'll be a really good game.
Does he get overlooked, Anthony Edwards, because he's in Minnesota? Because I'm with you, by the way. I think he's the best of all the young players in the league. I think he's the best.
Yeah, he's obviously talented. He's very good. He's just fun to watch, entertaining to watch. His style, right? He seems to come alive in the big moments as well. Sometimes I do feel like he gets overlooked, especially when you talk about Wemby and SGA. He kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. But I think these games like tonight kind of remind people of his greatness.
Well, Anthony, thank you for taking the time with us this morning. Great stuff. And make sure to check out Anthony's work along with Omar's work in the Miami Herald. Anthony, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Anthony Chang joining us here on QAM. A lot of stuff there to digest from that conversation there, Omar. Listen, I got to tell you, and I know we've discussed this. I think you have to take Pat Riley at face value. They are not looking to move Bam Adebayo.
I didn't say looking to move.
I don't see a scenario where they include him. I think the Heat are stubborn when it comes to these things. First off,
you can be
second
stubborn.
I just don't see it.
You can be stubborn, but you could also shoot yourself in the foot. While I love Bam, I just don't see him as a guy that is going to transform this franchise, whereas Giannis is. And I feel like the Heat could start rebuilding. If you give up Bam, you will have enough pieces to build this thing back around Giannis. It might not be immediate, but who's to say that Giannis and Bam make a great combination that's going to lead you to the Eastern Conference Finals anyway?
Well, it very well may not, Omar, but the Heat, one thing I will tell you, and I know Anthony said that they're not going to shake things up just to shake things up, but
yeah,
they need to, it's time, man. It is time to bring someone in who can at least hopefully get you out of this mediocrity stint that you've been in here.
I'm a big believer in Ja Morant, and I know he's a little bit crazy. I know he's a little bit reckless, but I also believe in Pat Riley and the Heat culture, and I think it's clear that he wants to be here. It's clear that he does not want to be in Memphis anymore. And I think the season that he set out last year, just playing 20 games with that, quote unquote elbow injury, is going to allow him to come back to the NBA recharged and looking for vengeance. He's still 26 years old. Let's keep that in mind. He's 26 years old. So you still got a good 5-year window of greatness. And at one point, he was one of the top 3 players in the NBA.
All right, Omar, we're going to take a pause. We got to get back into this Dolphins schedule here, and the rest of the NFL, their schedule has come out. So a very busy day. It really is remarkable, Omar. It is truly remarkable that the NFL can dominate a night on TV and social media in the middle
NBA
of
didn't
May.
even want to put any games on the day.
The NBA goes, we're not even going to try. We're not going to mess with you guys here. And it was probably a good move because those schedule release videos were the talk of the town
man.
Last night. We'll talk about it when we come back on QAM.
Hey, Marlin fans, the Marlins will be home next Monday to take on the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game series leading the National League East. But, hey, right now the Marlins got some hot hitters on this team. Liam Hicks has been on fire. Fans, don't forget, the Marlins will be coming back home Monday to take on the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game series followed by the New York Mets. Make sure you get your tickets. Going to be great seats for the National League East teams, both coming into town. Go to marlins.com/tickets. Hope to see you out there. Marlins playing some great baseball.
Tyreek Hill. Omar doesn't write about the Heat, so Omar will not be dabbling in that whether either way there, right, Omar? Like that won't be your wheelhouse.
What do you mean? I could write about the Heat if I want to.
Well, but you don't. I'm just saying, like, that's not your department.
It should be soon. It's supposed to be. I'm actually, I'm supposed to venture into other sports. So
okay.
I'm just working my way to get to the comfortable point of that thing.
All right. All right. So maybe that is why Omar wants Ja Morant here. Maybe that guy's onto something. I didn't know that.
Listen. Here's the thing. Remove the guns and remove the immaturity, and those are massive removes that I'm asking for.
Yes. I'm glad you at least acknowledge that.
That's immaturity. He's 26 years old. When he did these things, he was 24 years old. We forget how dumb we were all at 24. Let's be real about it. How dumb were you? I'm still dumb at 40. I'm not going to say my age.
The problem to me with Ja Morant is they seemingly have tried to get him to stop what he's doing.
Yeah.
And not only does he not stop, but he doubles down. They're like, hey, can you stop? Can you stop doing the gun thing? The team.
Anybody
he
respects.
They go, can you stop doing the gun thing? And he goes, oh, I'll see your guns and I'll raise you a grenade. And he gestures, he's going to throw a grenade into the crowd. Like he just
great marketing. Great marketing.
For who? Whose brand is that helping? What are you talking about? Great marketing. Whose brand is that helping?
I love the grenade. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sorry. I love the grenade.
All right, now I'm convinced that texture is absolutely right. You just want this guy to fill your Tyreek Hill void in your life.
Listen. We're talking about a guy who throughout his career has averaged 22.4 points, 7.4 assists.
I know he's a good player, Omar.
3.7 rebounds.
A good player. That's fine.
He's young. He's talented. Nobody can stop him going to the basket.
Fish out of water said it's helping military-grade weaponry institutions. Yes, it's helping the defense contractors of the world out there, Omar. That's who it's helping. The grenade dealers.
Think about it. You're getting him for what? 60 cents on the dollar? Because
what you're getting him for? Why are you saying what you're getting him for? Like that this is like something that can happen.
If you want to trade him,
no idea.
First of all, Omar, I like Ja Morant, and I think he would be a good addition to the Heat. It's a high risk, high reward, and you're doing all this about the guns, which is immaturity is a big deal. How about him quitting on his team, though? That's a bigger issue, I think.
How many players quit on their team when in the NBA? Think about that. Think about that for a minute. Did Giannis quit on his team?
Yeah.
Okay, but
I don't want Giannis.
You still want Giannis?
Well, let's be fair to Giannis. There was a lot of back and forth in that organization about whose idea it was to sit him down the stretch, and he wanted to play, and they didn't want him to play, and so let's pump the brakes on that one just a little bit too.
Okay, sure. Listen, while I don't generally love the high risk, high reward, Kadyn Proctor, I'm not a huge fan of that selection. High risk, high reward. I do. Ja Morant was.
How did Kadyn Proctor catch a stray there? My goodness.
2 years ago, Ja Morant was what? He had the best team in the NBA in Memphis.
They were number 2 in the West.
Number 2 in the West. I mean, the West is stocked. Let's not pretend like it isn't.
Omar, you're killing me here. You're killing me with this stuff.
What are you talking about? I'm just saying you're not going to have to trade a ridiculous bounty of assets and
you have no idea what it's going to take to bring Ja Morant in here. You have no idea. I don't even know if they want to trade him, Omar. We should probably. I think we should probably. We should just ask you before we go to break. We should ask you how many games the Dolphins are going to win. Keep you in your wheelhouse here.
I'm so offended.
You're right. I did that.
Like 5.
Whatever gets you quickly enough to the gym. Is your watch going to go off today? Because you do need to get to the gym. You got some training to do.
I do have.
Crowder is waiting on you.
You threw off my
back waiting on you.
You threw off my training. I'm just saying.
We took a break there because Crowder went into hiding, but he surfaced.
Why do you provoke this man? You are not going to we need to have an undercard of you fighting Solana. If if you're gonna keep
I don't think
doing
anyone
this,
wants to see that, though. That's the problem. Nobody wants to see that fight because it's just not. There's no juice to that.
I
There's a lot
disagree.
of juice to you and Crowder. There's some juice there because you basically challenged the world to a boxing match on here, and Crowder was like, "I accept."
I do like to
So-
box. I haven't boxed in a while, but I need to get back in the gym. I was working on my conditioning and fitness. I could see my abs now. You know, I'm getting my sexy back. So, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready. Now, I haven't thrown a punch in a while, but I'm ready.
All right. Well, that's why they have punching bags out there, Omar. We'll get you set, man. Maybe we'll line up some people for you to spar too in little training sessions. We'll find some stiffs out there that we can put in front of you to build up your confidence. All right. We got to take a pause. The 9 o'clock hour is coming up. Mike Florio is going to join us as he always does. There is so much NFL news to get to with Mike. So certainly looking forward to talking to him. The 9 o'clock hour on a Friday coming up next here on QAM.
I'll tell you what else is a good scenario.
energy is way up. I feel like I did back when we played.
It's the declaration of deals at Rob Lambden's University Dodge, Florida's #1 volume Ram truck dealer. Save up to $20,000 off new Ram 1500 light-duty pickups and get a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. UniversityDodge.com.
This is WQAM-FM and HD1 Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. WQAM-AM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of champions. Home of the 5-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The 3-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the 2-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us, Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. The Marlins take on the Rays tonight, 7:10. Jansen Junk gets the start. The NFL schedule is out. The Dolphins will open the season in Las Vegas against the Raiders August 13th. Tonight at 7, Game 6 between the Cavs and the Pistons with Cleveland up 3-2 in that series. Then at 9 o'clock, Spurs Timberwolves Game 6, San Antonio looking to close out. The Golden Knights did finish off the Anaheim Ducks 5-1, while the Montreal Canadiens took a 3-2 series lead over the Buffalo Sabres, winning 6-3. Game 6 between those two teams tomorrow at 8. No games tonight. And Scotty Scheffler, one of 7 named atop the leaderboard at the PGA Championship in Pennsylvania. This weather report brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, replacing roofs, roof repairs, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Today, for the most part, sunny and high temperatures in the 80s. The rest of the way for the next week or so, going to be rainy. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back in here on QAM. It is Friday. It is the 9 o'clock hour on a Friday. Seems Mike Florio is going to join us in about 10 minutes from now. Dan, you mentioned the golf in there. You know me. I really don't care too much, but I guess there was an incident at the golf tournament that's going on right now, the PGA Championship. John Rahm, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, John Rahm.
Hit someone with a divot. I guess got riled up, and these guys, Tiger had such an amazing personality that you wanted to tune in, you wanted to watch. These guys are just, my God, are they stiffs? Omar, I know you don't watch, but my man,
yeah.
These guys are brutal. So that's on the front page of ESPN for their sport. That John Rahm hit a divot
and he got upset.
A volunteer.
He got upset and he nailed, hit a divot into the ground and hit somebody in the face. And they also asked Rory McIlroy, "How do you feel as though you played today?" He answered with a 4-letter word, and that was it.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Very, very exciting.
By the way, Tiger Woods got back from rehab yesterday.
He's coming. He's going to make a return. Maybe he'll make a return. It's amazing that how that sport, like they still need Tiger to be relevant. It's really, really bizarre. But that we're going to file that in the not too many people care bin this morning and focus on the Dolphins schedule and Mike Florio, who is coming up momentarily here. And Omar, I know you have a lot of stuff that you are wanting to get to with Mike. Those videos popped up all over social media.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this before we went off the break. It is truly incredible. And we talked about it yesterday, how the NFL, they say, we're going to take a day, and they own it, man. And they do.
They don't even give you warning. Like they sneak this up on the NBA.
They say, hey,
I'm surprised they didn't put it in final
Christmas, but we're going to smash you.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they usually kind of put it in the middle of like the conference finals. But they said, we'll have a little bit of mercy on you, NBA. We'll just make you take one day off and and upstage you. And the funny thing is, it's all the videos that are coming out. I gotta fight with you on this one. I spent 9 minutes of my life watching that Dallas video.
Okay.
Such a disaster. I didn't like.
You didn't like the Tylers? You didn't like that?
No, I didn't like it. It was too long. It was too long. You're showing me equipment managers named Tyler. I just didn't.
I think you need to give it like an actual watch, not like a quick glance during the break.
I didn't give it a quick glance. I spent 9 minutes of my life watching that.
Did anyone else watch that Cowboys schedule release? To me, it was the funniest one. But
you know what? The one that you have to really look hard at is the Chargers one, because
the Halo one, yeah.
Yeah, there's so
you didn't have to look hard at the Dolphins part of that video though.
No, you did.
They had him they had him driving around in a tank.
Yeah, but then you have to screenshot it and read what they were saying. It's important to tell how good a video is in terms of the depth and the context of it. You got to screenshot the Chargers one, because when they start putting words on the screen, it's just subtle jabs. I mean, they got the New York Post chiming in.
Yeah, but I don't want to think either, man. These are supposed to be
true. They make you
videos.
think. They make you think.
I don't want to think. Like I like the Tennessee Titans video where they just walk around finding people that look like.
I think that was a rip
people
off
on the
of somebody else's video.
It is a rip off. I'm sure it is a rip off.
But it might be a rip off of their video.
It might have been, but it's still. I still found it funny. But I thought the Cowboys one with the Tylers was like, as far as funny, was the best one. I thought the Eagles put together a pretty interesting one. Just having their players sit around a table and open up the envelopes of which game and, kind of get their raw, like actual reaction, I thought was a cool video. I thought the Step Brothers video with Mendoza and Kirk Cousins was funny. I know you hate everything that has to do with Will Ferrell because you suck. But
you know what? I didn't even realize my hatred for that video might be because I think Step Brothers is a horrible movie. Yes,
there's no way you've watched that movie.
15 minutes, just like every other Will Ferrell movie, there's 15 minutes of funny in a 90-minute movie.
Oh, Step Brothers, every scene.
The Catalina wine mixer.
On.
It's the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, man, come on. The Catalina wine mixer. Prestige Worldwide, nothing. Doesn't do it for you.
But come on.
We only do Billy Joel.
Let's
covers from pre-1980s.
That scene is really funny. Who is that? That's what Horatio Sands, right? From Saturday Night Live. We only do 80s, Joel. And then he calls his wife. He insults the guy's wife. That's a very funny scene, but whatever, Omar. Only Omar Kelly can ruin Step Brothers.
Talladega Nights might be his best movie.
Talladega Nights is funny. Not one. I don't know if I'd put that as his funniest. The guy who's in that movie with him, what's
John C. Reilly?
No, the guy who plays Ali G. What's his name?
Oh,
why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen. Thank you, Dan. He happens to be one of the funniest people ever. I don't know how much of his stuff you've seen, Omar.
I have.
But he plays his character Ali G. They used to put that on like HBO.
Yeah, I think he's funnier than Will Ferrell.
He is so funny. He did all the Borat stuff.
I don't see how those guys don't get shot sometimes, man. They're so in your face with their stuff.
Yeah, man, I just his stuff is great. Someone said Old School. They brought up Old School on here. That is a very funny Will Ferrell
Old
movie.
School might be the only funny Will Ferrell movie. Talladega Nights is pretty good too. I'll acknowledge that. I like the storyline of Talladega Nights. Most Will Ferrell movies, I just think the storyline is horrible. It's basically
Okay.
15 minutes of him yelling crazy things on screen and improving and just saying just irrational things that
Sometimes
become
we
social
just
media
need
viral.
sometimes we just need some laughter in our lives, Omar. Like Sean says, Sean says he hates Ferrell's movies too. There you go, Omar. So you have a
Me and
friend
Sean,
in.
I'm telling you, there's got to be a club of us that hates.
I'm
Will
sure
Ferrell.
there is. I'm sure there's a
Yeah,
club
but you know
of
this isn't
angry Will
secret to
Ferrell
me because
haters.
we've been talking about this for like a decade.
I know you do. I know.
I just don't find him funny. I don't. He's great when he does a cameo in a movie and he gets to play some ridiculous human being, but to watch a 90-minute movie of Will Ferrell, no, thank you. I'll pass.
561 says Step Brothers is terrible. Hollywood, you really seem like one of the softest people I have ever heard. I hope your day gets better, 561, and I hope that makes you feel better about yourself. But please, I do hope your day gets better, my friend. It could probably only go up from here. We're going to talk to Mike Florio when we get back here on a Football Friday on QAM.
I do want to talk about a couple guys that I'm pretty
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Traffic on WQAM is sponsored by Lexus of Kendall and Lexus of West Kendall. Your home for the best price on luxury. Now featuring the all-new Lexus TX 3-row SUV. In stock and on sale now. Call 305-KENDALL today.
With an accident out of Broward County, the traffic report is brought to you by the Casino Dania Beach along Florida's Turnpike southbound as you approach Northwest 27th Avenue. That has a left lane blocked. Also dealing with an earlier accident. This is sitting along Florida's Turnpike southbound at Stadium right as you approach that Golden Glades interchange, and a multiple vehicle accident from earlier today still affecting all of those main lanes. US 27 heading southbound at Chrome Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Alia Escobar on FM 104.3, and you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
We've got plenty of ways for you to listen to your favorite shows and favorite teams on WQAM.
How is that, if I may ask?
We're at FM 104.3, or you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Check it out now.
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
Welcome back in here on QAM. We're going to head right out to the Toyota of Hollywood Hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale. One location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com, where we are joined by Pro Football Talks Mike Florio, as we always are here in the 9 o'clock hour on a Friday. Mike, good morning. Thank you for the time.
Hey, how are you guys today?
We are good. Mike, it's amazing how the NFL can steal a Thursday the way that they did yesterday. Just a schedule release. Everyone gathered around social media to watch the videos. I personally thought the Cowboys video was the funniest of them, but it really is amazing how the NFL can just steal a random Thursday like that.
They're taking the whole week. That's the thing. They've started deliberately announcing games on Monday of schedule release week. The leaks have been rampant, and unlike the draft where the NFL gets upset when people tip the picks, especially broadcast partners, especially reporters employed with broadcast partners, if we tip the picks before the commissioner announces and they get upset, there was no blowback that I noticed at all regarding the fact that so many games were being leaked. I think they loved it, and it just overpowered the news cycle. And even though they aren't playing the games, this process of the dribs and drabs of what the games will be, where they will be, when they will be, it's become something that extends far beyond those couple of hours on a Thursday night and really does consume the whole week.
Mike, when you look at and Omar trying to jump in here, but Omar, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, Mike, I got an incredible idea, and I know you have the juice to make this work. Just imagine the league says we're going to release our schedule release for an entire week. And here's the thing. First, on Monday, we're going to give you the international games. And then we're going to give you the games by division. On Tuesday, we'll do the AFC East. On Wednesday, we'll do the NFC East. And just think about that. Think about how many days you could sprinkle out coverage if you just did one division by day.
Oh, I've made a similar argument in the past, Omar, that on Monday, we get the full schedule for Monday Night Football. On Tuesday, we get Sunday Night Football. On Wednesday, we get Thursday Night Football. And you can just structure the whole week so there are announcements that happen not just here or there. And usually what it is, every network partner will announce one of their games because the schedule release now coincides with the upfront presentations when the networks go hat in hand to the advertisers and try to get them to commit their billions of dollars in advertising money for the upcoming season. So it all fits very well. And they currently do engineer some announcements, but they could take over. And there's a way to do it where you could have compelling announcements every night of the week that could be fully explored and discussed. And then by Thursday night, you've got the whole schedule where the rest of the gaps are filled in. Right now, it's kind of a de facto drip, 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 where social media is taken over. I think that there's a way to do it that would be programming every single night of the week and discussion every single night of the week, and every night of the week, all the other sports who are playing games looking around wondering what the hell is going on here. They're not even in season. Quit paying attention to them.
So, Mike, I guess they didn't want anyone taking any Vrabel swipes during these videos, but the Cowboys one, at least, I mean, they took swipes at like everyone. I guess the NFL, they have to be okay with that, right? Like taking swipes at some of the other cities and teams.
Well, it's kind of become part of the overall vibe of these schedule release videos. And I asked the NFL this week whether or not they would be affirmatively reviewing the content of the videos before they were posted. Last year, there was an issue with the Colts video, and people thought that it was about the content. There was a Tyreek Hill reference that some thought the video was taken down because of that. The video was taken down because they were using Minecraft without getting permission from Microsoft, which holds the copyright of the Minecraft franchise. That's why it disappeared. And that would have been something and should have been something that was easily fixed ahead of time, but the league doesn't do it. And that gives the team some freedom to do whatever they want to do. The Chargers ended up making 3 different references to Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini in their video, and they were all, it wasn't anything over the top. It wasn't like the inside the NBA Titanic image of the two of them on the boat or anything like that. But yeah, and I haven't seen the Cowboys yet. You mentioned it a couple of times. I thought the Titans was the best one I've seen. There's just so many to pick through, but now I'm going to go watch the Cowboys as soon as we're done.
Oh, yeah, it's 9 minutes of your life you'll waste. It's interesting, but it carries on.
9 minutes? Are they trying to win like an Oscar for best short film?
This one is really good, Mike. I'm telling you, I think you'll enjoy it. The Eagles one I watched, that was 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it's too long. I think that it's like a song on the radio, right? 3 minutes or less. Anything more than 3 minutes is too long. I don't want to tune in to watch a schedule release video and get stuck with Inagata Davida.
Mike, you know what I really enjoyed? I was on my phone, on Twitter, as trying to watch all these schedule release videos, and they came up one after the other. You know how in Instagram you're watching one, they just came up. Every team started coming up, and I think I might have gotten through 12 at one time. So props to Instagram for doing that. And the Simpsons one, which the Colts did, they actually had Bart Simpson on the screen saying, "We will not include Tyreek Hill in these videos."
That's good. That's good. Oh, that's good. I got to go watch that one too. I just have to watch all of them because the problem is when you watch one of them, you feel like you need to watch it 10 times to catch everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially the Chargers. They just do so many subtle little jabs. It's funny that you said there are 3 references to Rossini and Gray, but I didn't catch. I caught one. But you got to watch. You got to screenshot the whole Chargers video.
Yeah, there's one where there's a sign in the background that says photo dump 1 mile, and then you get a little alert on the screen that New York Post has sent you a message. And then at the very end in the credits, there's a reference to the Spotify playlist that came to light a few weeks ago.
Okay, that was good. That's good. Okay, I like that. Mike, let me ask you about, we see these deals that are coming for the tailbacks. Me and you, we are like on an island all by ourselves where we don't like the reporting of these contracts for these players and how teams always say the extension's a 4-year extension, but it's really a 5-year deal. But they never even factor in the existing year and the APY. When do you think you will get the actual details of the De'Von Achane deal to be able to weigh how good the deal is actually?
Well, what usually happens is the deal gets announced and then it takes a period of time for the deal to get buttoned up and signed. The deal then gets submitted to the league and the union, and that's when it gets into the pipeline that I can get my hands on it. We got Breece Hall's deal within the past couple of days. We posted the full breakdown yesterday. And the Breece Hall deal, a prime example of the difference between the reporting and the truth. It was reported as a deal worth $15.25 million per year. And the reality is it's $14.5 million per year because $750,000 in incentives got added into the reporting as to the base value of the deal. So subtle things like that make a big difference in the bottom line can infiltrate. And I don't know if you noticed this, Omar, but there was a dispute as to whether or not Achane is 16 or 17 million a year new money average, up to 17, or is it 17? And that's going to be one of the things we see. I I hope to have it early next week. That's the problem. Because by the time the truth comes out,
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I care, and
They
you
should,
care.
but nobody cares.
Yeah, I care, and you care. But they all they care about, and that's and it's the media's fault. I blame the media because we do not go over the fine print of the deal. Most of us don't. And truthfully speaking, and I hate to take the shot at my peers, but most of us don't understand NFL contracts to begin with, and don't understand.
Omar, here's the other issue. Here's the other issue, and this is a corollary to the behaviors that created the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini situation.
Yes.
And there are many ways that the insiders compromise their integrity. And what we've seen as Twitter has become the go-to destination for NFL reporting and consuming of NFL news, they send out the tweet, they being typically the agents when these deals get done, they send out the text, to the insiders with the basic information. And they send it to multiple insiders at the same time. If you hesitate, if you double clutch, if you pause for a second to confirm that the information is accurate, you know what happens?
You're
Somebody
last.
else posts it before you do.
Yep.
Yeah. He who hesitates is lost. So they all rush forward, knowing there's a good chance the information's false. That's how everybody ended up overstating the Brees Hall deal. They just rushed to Twitter with it. I've seen tweets because there was a time when I was trying to get in that line and jostle and and then I finally realized this is stupid because my audience only cares about the information. I don't need to be one of the 7 that are rushing to Twitter to post it. I could just start the story at PFT because I know how this works. I've seen insiders who have copied and pasted verbatim the text messages that get sent out by the agents, copy, paste, and tweet. And the fastest thumbs in the West, that's how you win. You got to be quick on the draw as you're thumbing it into your phone.
I remember one time, and this is just sharing a story about how the game works. I remember one time it was an athlete. I won't name the athlete, but the athlete was misled about his own contract by his agent, couldn't understand it. And I had to break it down for the athlete. He went back to the agent and was just like, hey man, you lied to me. And it created a major dispute with him. The agent eventually got fired. But it's really crazy how these, it's sad that not only do the media not understand these deals, but most of the athletes don't.
And the motivation is very simple. The agents want to make the deals sound as good as they possibly can because then they use that as the springboard to go out and attract new clients who are coming to the NFL out of college or steal existing clients from other agents.
That's the game. Sad. Let me ask you about Jeremiah Love and Ashton Genty, because now that we're seeing running backs get drafted higher, their fully guarantees, Jeremiah Love's $53 million in fully guaranteed contract, and that doesn't even include his 5th-year option. It sets a new bar for these running backs. So do you think that it's going to impact the Saquon Barkleys of the league, or another back, maybe Gibbs or Bijan, in terms of what they're asking for? Now that a rookie who's never taken a snap is making $53 million in guaranteed money?
Well, here's the counter that I think the teams will use, Omar. Jeremiah Love got that contract not because he's a running back. He got that contract because he was the 3rd pick in the draft. He could have been a quarterback, a defensive end, a left tackle, a kicker. It's driven by when you're picked, not by what position you play. And the $53 million guaranteed is a product of the fact that in round 1 now, and at least 8 picks into round 2, the rookies get 4-year fully guaranteed contracts. The average is still only 13.5 only, but you know what I'm saying. It's well below the Saquon Barkley $20.6 million head of the class APY. So I think teams will resist allowing any of the developments in the running back market as it relates to slotted rookie deals to change what the veteran contract market is. And when it's time for Jeremiah Love to do his next deal, it's going to be driven by what the market is and whether or not the Cardinals view him as a guy who should be at the top of the market. But I don't think it changes things. It's just a reflection of the Cardinals prioritizing the position enough to be willing to make that kind of a financial commitment. I think that's what's significant. It shows, I think, that teams are recognizing that, yes, there are many running backs out there, but there aren't many great ones. And if you have a chance at a great one, then you go get him, even if it's going to cost you $53 million in guaranteed money.
Here's my follow-up to that, Mike. The last time we were at this point where rookies were coming in and setting the bar for their position was when in 2000 and I believe it was 8, when Jake Long got drafted first overall and became the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL. And that was the last deal before we had that rookie rookie contract restructuring. But now we're back at that point where if you're a top 10 first round pick, you're setting a new bar for the position. Do you think that can have some ripple effect in the next CBA deal?
It still hasn't grown to the point where it's outpacing salary cap growth. The problem with the process for paying rookies under the pre-2011 CBA was that the rates being paid to the rookies at the top of the draft were growing faster than the cap. They have engineered this thing now. And yes, the numbers are going to keep getting larger and larger because the cap keeps going up and up. But I think they're still happy with it relative to what it costs to go out and pay for a veteran player. So I haven't heard any grumbling about that. You mentioned the Jake Long year. That was the year that the Dolphins actually considered, when Parcells was there, letting the clock run out and not taking the first pick. That's how skewed the finances were at the top of the draft. And let's let it slide to 3, 4, 5, and maybe we'll get Jake Long there. And if he's gone, we'll get somebody else. And they did the Jedi mind trick on Mike Tannenbaum and got him to take Vernon Goldston at number 6 because Parcells was showing false interest in him. I mean, that was just a crazy year. But that year there was actual talk. That's how bad it was. The first pick was a curse, not a blessing. And maybe we'll just pass until 2 or 3 others take their players, and then we'll take a player when we're at 4, 5, or 6 on the board.
Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk with us here. Mike, I'll leave you on this one. One of the things we had to talk about here this week, Tampa Bay put out a video of Ruben Bain doing a few drills up there. And I know that we discussed this with you. People down here are still furious that the Dolphins took Kadyn Proctor. They did not take Ruben Bain. This Kadyn Proctor pick is interesting. There are definitely some concerns there. Is this something that could end up possibly biting these guys in the behind if this doesn't work out here?
Oh, we see this time and again. The apples to apples comparisons, even if it's guys at different positions. We took this guy. We could have taken this guy. How's this guy do? How's that guy do? And the problem with Kadyn Proctor, it's not like there's going to be any stats jumping off the page that tell the world that he did well. For an offensive lineman, he's only doing well if you don't notice him, unless he's, bulldozing guys, which doesn't happen very often. But it has the potential to be a problem, especially if Bain comes in and has 13 sacks as a rookie or something like that. That's really the key. What will Bain do when it's time to go play? And the Buccaneers have kind of this borderline arrogance that they think they got another Reggie White in Ruben Bain. So we'll find out come September.
Mike, thank you for the time as always. We'll talk to you again next Friday, all right?
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. We'll come back, close this thing out here on a Friday. We'll hand it off to Tobin and Leroy next year on QAM.
Man, I want to talk to you about credit card debt, consolidation.
iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Same great shows, same great games. Plus, you can use the rewind feature and listen to anything you missed. Go for it.
Welcome back in here on QAM as we put a close to the program here on a Friday, turned into a football Friday here after the NFL schedule release. Omar, thank you for hanging with us all week. We'll leave it as an open surprise as what's happening next week. I to be honest, you asked me, I don't know. So we'll just leave it as an open-ended surprise, and people.
Hey man,
Monday morning, and we'll see who surfaces.
Well, I'll just create a story that this is about Joe's negotiations. So yeah,
either that or suspension, whatever you want to write about. Put it in the Herald. Put it on the front page of the Herald.
I'll leak it to Barry Jackson.
There you go. Even better. All right. Again, as we close this one out here, Omar, the Dolphins schedule is out for those who are just joining us.
They got hosed.
I don't think they got hosed, but
they absolutely got hosed.
The NFL didn't do them a ton of favors.
Name me the one favor. The only favor I would say that the NFL
did.
You
start the season off with your easiest game, arguably.
I don't even think the Jets are the easiest game, but I would say the only favor the NFL gave Miami is that they put the West Coast games together and will allow them to stay out there on one trip. And I think that's something that's a common theme that they do for teams that are going on 2 West Coast games. Just like they generally don't send teams down here to play 1 p.m. games in Hard Rock Stadium in the months of September and October. That's just a well-known thing. They'll give you 1 or maybe 2, but you're not going to be cooked in Hard Rock Stadium because it gives them a competitive disadvantage. But like going to Green Bay on December 20th isn't a competitive disadvantage for the Dolphins or any team that has to go into Green Bay.
I know, but I'm tired of this. Like, we can't play in cold, or we can't play in this, we can't play in that. Like, we got to stop with that nonsense.
It's been here since
I know.
the days.
But the guys that just came in, they come from Green Bay, Omar. So it's like it's enough. It's enough with this stuff. By the way, Omar, do you happen to know what the spread is for the Raiders and Dolphins? The early spread is out. This is pretty simple spread here.
1.5.
It's 3. It's 3. So
3 favoring.
Raiders are favored by 3. Again, that's the home field advantage there. It's essentially like a pick 'em game. They're taking them by a field goal. So there you go. That's what they think of the Dolphins in week 1, and the Raiders are coming off a season where they ended up with the first pick. I don't know that he will play in week 1. I think I'd rather, if I were a Dolphin fan, I'd rather see Mendoza.
It's a very good
Kirk
point.
Cousins, right? Wouldn't you? I mean, the guy hasn't taken an NFL snap.
I don't know. We looked pretty good against Kirk Cousins last year.
That is true.
That
is true. That was one of 2 of his better games.
But with that being said, I still, if Mendoza wants to make his debut, which I don't think he will, I think this is a moot point. I think Kirk Cousins will start.
Once they went out and signed Kirk Cousins, it was pretty much understood that Tom Brady, who is running that organization right now, believes that a rookie quarterback, and he said this on many podcasts, so he believes a rookie quarterback should sit and watch and learn. And so that looks like it's going to be the Fernando Mendoza plan.
By the way, I don't remember which team did it, but one of the teams took a shot at the Rams and Sean McVay. Basically saying he didn't want the quarterback, Dallas, and he was angry. I might have been the Chargers.
It was Dallas.
Was it in the Dallas one?
It was. Yes, it was in the 9 minutes of a Dallas.
The one that you didn't like, the one that you said is not good,
because he's a tie. They were trying to correlate it to Tyler Ty. It's that. I'm sorry, that Dallas video. Then Dak shows up in the middle of the video and gets kicked out by the Tyler. Like, come on, 9 minutes.
Funny. It was funny. You need to learn to laugh, my friend. You need to learn to laugh a little. Comedy's good for you.
Yeah.
Laughter's good medicine.
You know how long it took me to figure out they were doing Step Brothers for the Raiders video? because the acting was
did
so bad.
Did you not figure it out in the opening? It was the direct copy of the opening of the movie.
I'd have to remember the movie, which I think is.
We're not going to end the show with you ripping any Will Ferrell work, okay? We're not. That's not how we're going to end the show.
What's the basketball one? What's the basketball movie again?
Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro. Oh, that's another piece of trash.
That is a piece of trash. That is not a good movie. That one actually is not a good movie.
There are so many that aren't good movies, but you just continue to overlook the fact that he doesn't make funny movies. He has funny moments in movies.
Back to these week 1 lines here, Omar. You have the Seahawks favored by 4.5. They will host the Patriots. That is the season opening game on September the 9th. Rams favored by 2.5 for the 49ers there. See if there's any others that stand out. The Steelers, who don't know who their quarterback's going to be, they're favored by 2.5. How about this? The Titans and the Jets. That's a doozy of a game. The Titans favored by 2.5 in that one.
Titans are going to be a sleeper this year. You know why? Because Cam Ward's got weapons and he's got Brian Dable. And
Does Cam Ward make a big jump this year?
Massive jump. Because Brian Dable is a quarterback whisperer.
Okay. That would be pretty exciting to see. I know Canes fans would love to see Cam Ward succeed over there. We are going to succeed in handing things off to Tobin and Leroy. We got to thank all of our guests. We had a busy one today. Bonnie Bernstein was with us earlier. Larry Bluestein stopped by. Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald joined us. Talked a little Heat basketball there. And, of course, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. If you missed any of our interviews, you can find those on WQAM.com. Thank you to Dan Day for driving the program all week. Thank you to Jamie for producing all of our video content throughout the week. Thank you to you, Omar Kelly, for whatever it is you've done here. Stirring the pot all week long. But
Ja Morant.
Thank you, my friend. Sure.
2026. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. I'm Hollywood. Have a great weekend. Talk to you again on Monday morning. Tobin and Leroy are next.